Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 106 of Knockle in High School. Tonight, our main topic is going to be remakes versus sequels. We're going to look at some theories behind different things. We're going to ask the audience whether they prefer sequels or remakes. I have a bunch of questions that I have pulled out. So it should be pretty fun to kind of pick everybody's brains on these kind of topics. I know it can be a heated debate between people do sequels right or remakes right,
and if they're deemed good or not,
right? Even though it's all just your personal opinion. So it should be fun. Overall, we'll try not to kill each other by the end of this. Hopefully,
no feuds.
I feel like we have probably similar.
I feel like your mic's not turned on.
Me?
Yeah, you should probably unhit
Who muted me?
You probably did with your elbow.
No, I didn't touch it. You muted me before I even got here.
That's probably for the best.
Rude.
All right. Well, so let's get the housekeeping out of the way. So the IWEP network, you can go to iwepnetwork.com and you can support us by grabbing merchandise, following us on all social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. YouTube, we are trying to make a push to get to that 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can give us a subscribe over there, that'd be great. We're trying to get 1,000 on all social media platforms. So just go and give us a follow. It'd mean a lot to us. We do have the Patreon, which I'll get to in a minute, but we have some show news.
Oh, we're
Some
going to
show
do it right
news.
away.
I was going to say,
right away.
are we going to do it right away? Or
We're going to get it out of the way.
Be like,
Right-
hey, we're going to give you some news, and then it's like the actual news where they're like, up next, we'll tell you what this is, and then they wait
Breaking
for, like,
news.
last 5 minutes.
We're gonna drop it right now.
In
Okay.
5 minutes.
So we have some spin-off shows that are going to join the IWEP network family, but it's going to stay under the umbrella of Not Cool in High School. So how that's going to work for you as a listener, it's going to be, we're still going to stay under the numbered episodes. So it'll be number 9. So say, example, one of these new spin-offs is going to film, let's say, next week. And it's going to be one of these 3 shows. It'll be episode 107. The style of the show it's going to be, title. But it will still stay under the numbered episodes. So if there's something you want to hear, like, I wonder if they covered that, you can just still search the name of the topic of the episode and it'll pop up. We're not going to make you go to another whole nother audio source. We're not going to make you go to another YouTube page. We're not going to run another social media. It's going to stay under the Not Cool in High School umbrella. And it's going to be a way to give more content to this show. And give other people opportunities to talk about things they're passionate about. Because I think every other show kind of dives into pop culture because we're all a very big pop culture-centric network where we talk about it, whether on this one or Banging Beers or Not Cool and High. Like they're all just crossover because we're just huge pop culture fans. And as you see, there's a little less people around the table. We decided to kind of stick with this crew going forward. And the reason for that, we kind of said, is just to kind of give everyone a little bit of a shine, and then the spin-off shows will give other people on the network chances to cross over and come hang out, and it's not a table full of 19 people trying to get their shit in.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get everyone's talking points in. So without further ado, we have the new shows. We did a little bit of a leak, a teaser, if you will, on the social media, and we'll go with the first one here. This one will be hosted by myself. I am not the expert on this show. I'm not the expert on any of our shows, but I definitely just be playing the host role here, and it'll be kind of a way of saying the newbie fan versus a diehard fan, and we're gonna go through the chronological order of this franchise, and I'm gonna get a deep dive into a galaxy far, far away. The Not Cool in High School Star Wars. So are we sticking with the class, like how each class, like a high school had classes? So this will be Star Wars class.
Clubs.
High school
like
clubs.
The AV club.
The AB club, yeah. So this will be the Not Cool in High School Star Wars club.
We should have just called it like what's the space?
Yeah, but I when people search Star Wars, I want them if they want to see Star Wars related podcast, I want Star Wars to pop up. If we put Space Club, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? And why is it called Phantom Menace? Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the first shows. The second one.
Are you gonna say who's host?
It'll be me and Andrew Hare from Banging Beers podcast. Will be part of the Not Cool in High School Star Wars episodes. And we're gonna start in chronological order. So we're starting Phantom Menace, and working.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Oh wait, so you're not watching them in order when they came out?
Listen,
Phantom Menace to start.
episode whatever episode
all the-
1 is the first. Is the first.
Okay.
Are you talking like the
No, because
original?
the only reason I question it is because I know at least one of the movies got added in between
Yes.
the prequel series and the last 3.
So according to this, the first is going to be episode 1, then episode 2. Then you watch the Clone Wars cartoon series, which is 7 fucking seasons.
Good luck.
And then you have to watch season 1 to season 7, episode 9, then watch episode 3, then go back to Clone Wars
That's too much
cartoon.
for me.
Oh, we're doing it all.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna,
crazy.
and then there's the Solo, then the Star Wars Rebels, then Rogue One, then Star Wars, the first Star Wars, then Empire Strikes Back, then Return of the Jedi, then Mandalorian, and then I think somewhere between Mandalorian, that's where Book of Boba Fett jumps in as well. It's in that same timeline. Oh,
That's an Andrew question.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it, but it'll be a lot of fun. But we're gonna go through the whole Star Wars. And listen, this may or may not, depending on if Disney makes a bunch, last forever. So there may only be.
I can guarantee
Yep,
they'll
they
make
will.
it
Yeah.
forever.
So that is one style.
I
Now
mean,
the next,
Also Kenobi too.
I was gonna say, yeah, Kenobi's coming out.
Yeah,
No,
They also
already.
put a bunch of money into adding new theme park attractions for Star Wars, so I don't think Star Wars in
Is
their
going
lineup is going anywhere soon. Yeah.
which is gonna be great for Andrew. So that's gonna be our first show. Once again, I'll pop it up on the screen. The new show, spin-off show coming from Andrew Hare and myself of Bang Bears podcast is going to be Not Cool in High School Star Wars edition. So if you're into Star Wars, this will be all for you. The next show, which will be hosted by the Cabana Boys. I love saying that because I feel like you guys are just like walking around with
On the beach.
with like old hot ladies around pools, and you're walking around fanning them and giving them drinks and just buff and little tiny Speedos. You're the Cabana Boys.
Maybe we'll do a spoof of that someday.
There you go.
Wear like Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, Hawaiian shirt. So you guys will be hosting almost in the same universe, owned by the same
Well,
the
we
sa-
technically own your asses.
It's far. It's far away.
yeah, in the same universe, in the same
Far
money
away.
line. You will be doing a Not Cool in High School Disney podcast.
We're
Do
very-
you want to kind of fill in the audience what to expect?
So the idea is we're gonna start from the beginning. I don't offhand know what the very beginning is. So I'm just gonna throw Snow White.
I, just
I
say,
was
I
just
think
gonna
it's
say
Snow White and
Snow
the
White.
Seven Doors.
And we're gonna
That's
work
okay.
our way forward through the movies. However, if Disney releases something brand new randomly, we'll probably just insert that somewhere so that it's more of a
Start from the very
relevant
beginning and just
episode.
talk them all.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
that's the goal anyway. We'll see how that runs.
Very exciting.
There's some
but
movies I'm
it'll be
definitely
fun.
jumping in on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. So it should be a lot of fun. We over the weekend I got the opening animation done for the castle and stuff. We
Ooh.
did have to obviously change some stuff so that it's not. to
We don't
us-
get flagged by the mouse.
Yeah. But I mean, if they want to
That's
own
fine.
the show, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll make
Yeah.
the show and run on Disney. That's perfectly fine.
That might be the only like PG show we have on the network.
I don't know because we're gonna be covering like Pirates of the Caribbean
That's true.
and like
not
more of the
know that.
adult.
Oh yeah, this is
things.
just card. This is
Yeah.
all things Disney.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna go
Mhm.
across the board Disney. So
Are you gonna do the Sound of Music?
we could.
Isn't that like the racist one?
No.
No, that's the song of the South.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's the one you can't really find anymore.
Oh, I got it, but I don't know if we're covering that.
Yeah, we'll skip that one.
Yeah.
All right, and
I-
then one last show here, which will be hosted by myself again. Shocker! If you're sick of hearing my voice, it's not going
I
anywhere.
am.
And myself and my beautiful, amazing, scrumptious Asian sensation.
Ew,
I
why
gave her
would
a
you
scope
say
on camera.
scrumptious?
I don't know. It just sounded fun. The Not Cool in High School horror podcast, which, by the way, Nikolai
Those are very awesome.
killed
Awesome-
this fucking
awesome
logo.
logo.
So
Love it.
it was great to work on. And I started with the Scream S. That's where the inspiration all kind of came from. And then it kind of just grew from there. And I feel like if you look at this, you'll clearly know where I ended, maybe. Because I feel like as I went, I got way more detailed. But like for the end, for instance, it may look kind of easily done. But if you actually zoom in on it, you have like the little like details of the sweater
Yeah,
within the layers and stuff. So it's not just a green and red
Mhm.
N.
I made him change one letter.
Yes, he made me change the letter.
The H was something different, but I was like, I feel if you're gonna do H, it has to be Halloween.
Honestly, I think it came out really well.
Mm.
I had
love
to. I didn't know exactly how to frame it within the letter.
Yeah.
but I feel like where it landed, I didn't have to draw the hand, which I knew was going to be a pain in the ass. And it still shows you what it needs to show you without us getting flagged.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be me and Heidi, and we will be talking all things horror movies. We're gonna do new stuff, old stuff, stuff from Shudder. So it is going to be a lot of fun. Now, all these shows.
I do have a question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you think of the eye? Because that
I like
was the
it.
last one. That
I like
did.
it. So
Yeah.
the eye obviously is it, and that's kind of what I pitched to you because you're like, I'll just
Yeah.
do the red balloon. I said I think it'd be cool to kind of show the gutter,
Yeah.
but maybe his eyes and,
Well,
and the sailboat.
That's the first time I've drawn in Illustrator to that extreme level.
Yeah, I like it.
So that's why I was curious.
It's a lot of fun. And if you want to support these shows, not right away, so please don't go flooding to the site with all of your crazy demands, but we will sell merch. We'll have t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, the whole nine will be up there. So if you want to buy a Not Cool in High School inspired, we still have this show's still here.
Yeah.
This is our main show. This will still be on clockwork every 2 weeks, 8 o'clock, but this is to kind of give you maybe something in between.
Or if you like something specific, you don't have to watch our
the
regular
horror,
show
the
where we talk
horror
about
and
everything.
the Star Wars will be live shows. We'll still interact and have you guys. The Disney will be more closed set because you guys have big plans. For
We
that.
want to add some magic to it.
There you go. And that'll be all done at Cabana Entertainment.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Because we want to get the chance to use the studio to like its full potential.
Very cool.
So we want to kind of play around with some stuff, and who knows? I mean, it could be a test ground for us to push certain techniques over to the other shows too.
Absolutely.
Figure ways out. So we're kind of going to play with some stuff that we haven't really done on any of the podcasts so far. But we've kind of talked about to some degree.
Yeah.
Like we want to try doing multi-camera stuff.
I want one. I just need a switcher board because I don't have someone who's willing to sit here for every podcast
Yeah.
and help me do that.
Well,
So I need an easy one that I can push buttons on.
That's kind of partially why we're not doing live. Is I got all the cameras and stuff, but I don't necessarily want to go get a switcher board.
Yeah.
I'm just used to putting stuff together for like video editing and stuff that it's just going to be a bit easier.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you like any of the letters particularly, I do have, like within the horror one, I do have individually made graphics
Oh, cool.
for them. So if they want like an individual Scream sticker or something, I can send you those links. So
Cool.
if any of those particular, really stick out to you, let us know, and
Ooh,
we can make that
I'm
kind
not
of
paying
stuff.
attention to the chat.
I was
Everyone's in
gonna
the
say,
chat.
I feel
Happen.
like people are talking.
All right, Lee says Alice in Wonderland 1951 is one of my favorites. There you go.
Okay.
Good one.
Michael says the 80s kid to me says yes, please. There you go.
To what?
That to what? To all of it? Yeah.
So last night I had a volleyball game with Mike, and was not caught up in the chat because I just worked 8 straight days.
Yeah.
And
So she had no idea.
I didn't know that you guys dropped like a hint, and he goes,
Oh.
he's like, what are the new shows? And I'm like, how do you know about that? And he's like, hey, he's showing me the things, like, because I pay attention. I was like,
There you
oh,
go.
I don't pay attention. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then he started guessing them.
We love your passion and the fact that you follow along and
Yes,
support us. That
thank
means a lot.
you.
It really does. Lee, Everett says,
Thank you.
nice logo. Thank you so much. Bill Gober says, cool logos, dude. I'm on the Facebook now. I'm going to switch over to YouTube once I'm done watching WrestleMania 11. Bill's doing some research because this week we are doing a Bangin' Beers podcast WrestleMania edition. So we're going to drink beers. What? I said drink beers. What? I said drink beers. What? And we're going to drink beers and talk WrestleMania. And he said, I'll smash buttons. I like it. And then what else we got here? All of this, he said. He loves all of these spinoff shows, which
Well,
is
that's
great. And listen, the reason why we're kind of cutting it back to just 2 people is because we want that flow. We want maybe Nikolai and Anthony to join in a horror one, or maybe somebody from the networks. If you're a fan of, if Andy comes back or Kelly comes in for an episode, because I know she wants to she's gonna want to talk The Crow and Dr. Sleep, even though she didn't know the twins were in it. But no, we're gonna have
I
that.
think it helps when there's like not cool. It's fun having everybody, like a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it's easier to
Using
talk.
that,
Everyone,
yeah.
We're always talking.
And
for each
too,
other,
like,
so.
certain topics and stuff more, or like certain people are more passionate about
Mhm.
than others, so it kind of lets that same person step back if they're not as passionate about that particular
Absolutely.
one.
And
Yeah.
there was times we
Yeah,
had topics
let's
and
do
we're
it.
like, oh, this topic isn't really for me. And then some people were like, well, I'm not just going to research it. I'm not into it. And I think it gives people opportunity on these, because these are main niche. This kind of niches our podcast down a little bit
Yeah.
too, that people can kind of just search that. But we're open to outsiders coming in too. So if you're passionate about something or things, like I know Zach who just recently joined Bangin' Beers is going to definitely want to jump on the horror. Bill loves horror, and like horror is just a big thing for us. So that's going to be a big,
Yeah.
and that's something we always talk about amongst all the shows.
Oh, I talked to somebody today, and he said he didn't like horror movies, and I just stopped listening to whatever he
Yeah.
was saying.
Disney's big, especially with us four here. So you'll probably
Yeah.
see us on the Disney a few times.
The funny thing about that is, like, for me, like when I introduce people, or like they ask, like, "Oh, what are your kind of favorite movies?" It's usually a list of like horror movies and Disney. And they're like, "How? Why?
Yeah.
Those two? Because
Just
they're complete
polar opposite
opposites."
spectrum.
I'm like, yeah, it's just
It works.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of news. Want to do a little bit of news?
sure.
Ooh.
Before we get into news, I do have a special announcement
Oh,
I wanted
yes.
to make. So for my YouTube channel, I wanted to do something a little bit special each month. So once a month, there's going to be a new game that I'm going to be playing. And the first game I decided to play, which it's not here yet, but it will be here this week, is the new WWE. I have not played the WWE games. I thought I'd give it a shot. And I thought I would ask people from the network if they wanted to maybe collab on a video maybe at one point and
yes.
create custom characters. Now it would have to be PG for my channel, but
Yeah.
like,
No
but other than that,
All right. So no beers, no cursing. Gotcha.
yeah, no beers, no cursing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Very
Yeah,
nice,
I'm
very nice,
down.
Cool.
Is it live?
I mean, we could go live if we want.
All right, because maybe the live wouldn't. The beeps may have to. Because if you beat me in wrestling, I'm gonna curse. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to play that new game. I'm waiting because I want to get the special edition version.
Mhm.
Because obviously, part of news, the wrestling and pop culture is Scott Hall just recently passed away, who's in this collector's edition for the NWO, which is a big. I was a big fan of. And speaking of people passing away, a part of news: Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, drummer, 51 years old, just passed away.
Wow.
I woke Heidi up out of a sleep. I came home and I was like, "You're not gonna believe it. I'll never see the Foo Fighters."
And then he just leaves and left the door
I
open.
just went down
the
and,
light
and
on.
I just went down and grieved. I just listened to some Foo Fighters and I handled it my own way.
So I take it that's why you bought that shirt.
This shirt was already bought
Oh,
before
okay.
this. Yeah, this actually just got here the other day. But I
You
was
didn't watch it yet, did you?
no. I'm waiting for it to come.
Yeah,
to
is that-
streaming
I
service.
think you can rent it now
Yeah, I
on
want to
streaming
buy it.
stuff.
I knew
but
you had a
I'd rather
debate.
buy it.
What?
I knew you were debating getting.
I was
it to
debating
see the
between this
movie.
one or the full band shirt,
Yeah.
and I think I might go back and buy the full band shirt.
Yeah,
now.
I just bought the full band one literally like the day that he passed away.
Yeah.
kind of.
So I'm wearing the David Grohl Studio 666.
So who is that on?
That's David Grohl.
Okay. Because to me, it looks like Sabretooth from the original X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the sharp teeth. I don't know.
He says no beers, no cursing. Tony's out. No, Alien 1979 and Pet Cemetery. You know, would be fun for the
You
horror
know.
one. If we do Pet Cemetery,
Oh, have Andy.
we have Andy come and talk the movie with
I
us.
There's
mean,
a lot of
that'd be cool.
Andys.
Mhm.
Well,
So
like, very
Andrew
confusing.
Hubachek, for those of you who don't fully understand that, he played Zelda in the original Pet Cemetery. We've had him on in
Interviews with Everyday People.
episode. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's one of my. It's the second most viewed video on the network.
Well, I'm glad because Andy definitely deserves it. He's a great guy.
And he's from Bloomsburg.
He is. Yeah. So go support him. On a side note, he works with the Bloomsburg Theater Ensemble on their productions and their plays. So
I tell people that all the time that I interviewed Zelda from Pet Cemetery, and then I tell them it was a guy, and they're like, "It was a guy."
Yeah.
I go, "Yep."
most people.
Yep.
And like it's funny too because it's like I see art online and I'm like, oh, my friend Andy would love that. And they're like, oh, who's Andy? I'm like, he's him. He's the guy you made the art of.
Yeah, it's the guy you drew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, that'd be cool to do a Pet Cemetery with him.
Yeah.
We did learn a lot about that, like
Mhm.
that movie from him. He unfortunately didn't get a chance to work with a lot of people because by the time his stuff was
Yeah.
filmed, like they were like it was towards the end of the
Mhm.
filming
Yeah,
production.
Yeah, he was there for like 2-3 days or something.
Yeah.
And it was like freezing cold. And
And he had to stay in prosthetics for
yeah,
20. What did he say? 18 hours.
something like that. It was crazy.
Forever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So they're the three shows. We're super happy that you guys are all excited. You tuned in and you're showing
So-
us the love.
Technically, because he brought up Alien, we could do Alien
I mean,
because it
Or
was in a
Disney?
theme park.
Yeah, it's technically
Oh.
Disney now.
No, not now. They had a ride
it was an MGM ride. Yeah.
Mhm.
where the alien broke out in the Disney park, so we could.
Well, that wasn't the same alien.
No,
No,
it
it
was
was.
Alien.
I thought
Yeah.
it was a different type
Nope.
of alien.
It
It
was
got
Alien.
switched over to Lilo and Stitch after
Eventually,
a
yeah.
while.
Oh, really?
And then the
Yeah.
ride ended. Yeah. So I mean, if we did a history of the parks, we could touch into some horror
Yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
like that as well. Because
I want to come hang out when you do Lilo and Stitch.
yeah. So which version do we watch though? If we're going to talk about Lilo and Stitch, do we watch the original one? Do we watch the ones that have a bunch of the edits in, like her? What is it?
In the
She's
washing
not
instead
in
of
the
the
washing
washing machine, it's a pizza box.
The
now.
Yeah, it's
dryer,
a pizza
yeah.
box instead of the washing machine.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Disney Plus did
We
a bunch
don't know
of edits
why,
and stuff
right?
to
There's
it.
no reason. Oh,
Because they don't want kids to show they're in a washer.
they don't want
Yeah.
them to be in the dryer. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
because you could die.
Yeah.
But-
So
I would be interested to go and watch like The Little Mermaid 3. Like I've never watched any of them.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I've never. I mean, I've watched Little Mermaid, obviously.
the
but
first one.
That I've only seen the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Fox and the Hound has like
So-
4 of them.
Ooh,
our
that one's
our
sad.
topics may get a little dirty
Oh,
in the Disneyland because of hidden things
Mm-hmm.
that are thrown in. Like the original poster for Little Mermaid has
Penis.
a penis in the castle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we may at some point, bring out those kind of things. But we'll see as we
We could
go.
bleep it out. We could.
Yeah.
Make it kid.
No, it doesn't have to be kid. It's
No,
still
it
part
doesn't
of our
have to be
network.
friendly. No. But I'm just saying, like, we may touch on some more adult theme kind of things or Easter.
I
eggs.
thought he said 3 losers, and I was like, "Who's a loser?"
3 losses. We are 3 losers, but yeah. Hurricane JJ, obviously, yeah, he passed away as well. And if you need a xenomorph person, I'm your man. Michael says he's already taking claim in the Alien episode.
Oh, he has a podcast about Alien. I think.
He has his own podcast.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was telling me.
But is
about a couple
Alien
weeks ago.
horror?
He just has a
Yeah.
whole Alien
it
movie
sci-fi?
It's
podcast.
just Alien. I think it's horror, sci-fi. I'm pretty sure.
Horror has tons of genres we can dive into. Horror, comedy.
But what's the stronger one? Is it a
Sci-fi.
sci-fi movie or is it a horror
It's
movie?
space, sci-fi,
It's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely.
is the Predator?
Sci-fi.
sci-fi.
But he's on Earth.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
It's I would say actually that would be
like monster.
almost like
Yeah.
sci-fi action
Mm.
Okay.
because it's like an action movie because it has
Right.
Schwarzenegger and
Yeah.
Stallone.
There's
We're-
a lot of weird, like, gray area ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird gray
Yeah.
area horror movies. Yeah. All right. Is there any other news?
They did
We
release
started news,
a
we didn't get to
trailer
it.
for the Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
The graphics look amazing.
And people think it's PlayStation exclusive because of the way PlayStation
Listen.
markets their games.
If PlayStation has the exclusive, I'll buy a PlayStation tomorrow so that I have it for the
Oh,
game.
PlayStation. Actually, there's PlayStation news. They're dropping almost like a Game Pass thing. It should be coming in
Oh, cool.
June.
What a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Didn't see that coming.
the biggest price thing I think I saw was like $150
Oh
or
my
something.
god!
But you're getting like a backwards compatible library and like
Oh,
everything
that's
else
cool. For
With it.
all of them.
with
And Xbox has the same thing,
Oh,
but
so
cheaper.
I got a
Yeah.
question for you.
which I
about
don't like that.
Yeah.
Game Pass type things
Mhm.
and whatnot. This is on the Nintendo front. And maybe there's somebody in the audience that can help out with this too. I got an alert from Nintendo saying you've been charged like $22 for
It
the,
upgraded.
for the year,
Yeah, it upgraded.
but I didn't okay them to do that.
It like the price.
I thought they
changed.
had to, like, I had to accept or deny.
I think if
them
you're a
doing those
subscription,
things.
they probably sent you an
Yeah,
email
because
or
like
something.
Netflix changes and they don't ask you permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they took it to an extreme level of we're adding a bunch of crap because of that,
Yeah.
Oh.
not
I think if you're signed up, they just said, "Hey, this is happening." And if
Okay.
you don't want it, you can cancel it.
Which I'm kind of surprised they didn't ask you about like, oh, do you want to upgrade the one where you get
Yeah.
like the Genesis and
Like,
like, the
I didn't
N64
get
games
a-
on it?
an email that I ever saw from them. That's why I was confused. I was just
Yeah.
like, I was just charged because I just thought it was
I'm actually using Game Pass to play a game right now
one
that I just started. No, I'm playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I want to play that. It looks good.
It's a lot of fun so far. I thought they were cursing a lot of it, but it's Rocket saying flipping and not
Oh.
fucking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought he said fucking. I was like,
So how did you discover that he wasn't?
I
Subtitles.
listened more closely when he
Oh,
started talking, and
okay.
he's like, "This is flipping crazy," and
Okay.
I'm like, "Oh, he's saying flipping." Like the first 3 times he said, I was like, "He's definitely cursing."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
which I
thought somebody said the C word the other day at work, but he did not.
Oh.
He said
Also,
he's
punk.
like it. He's like England, like from England or whatever, and he said cotton socks. I thought he said something else, and I was like, "Is that a special phrase?"
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
we got a new season of Fortnite as well.
Yeah.
That brings in Doctor Strange.
And the
which is super
Prowler.
exciting. Yep. So it should be interesting
They
because
just
building
dropped-
is gone
I love that.
in it, which I'm excited for too.
I'm happy that the building's gone.
Uh,
People aren't gonna hide.
Dude,
the
I
whole
just
time.
won a game with grenades. Last kill of the game, the guy, like, I was on top of the hill and the guy was on the bottom, and he had to run to get to me and not build up.
Mhm.
And I had 6 grenades. I just went whoop, whoop, And it just said Victory Royale because he couldn't build to hide.
Yeah.
He just took those grenades.
So it makes me sad that there's no building for one reason.
Fireflies.
I can't burn anyone to the ground
Yeah.
or trap teammates.
Yeah.
I mean, if the circle lands on a building spot,
Oh no,
that'd be the best.
My notes.
Oh no.
Your notes.
Yeah, I have all my notes in my phone.
Yes, my podcast is called The Hive Mind and Xenomorph Podcast. Wait, Xenomorph. Oh, that's cool, man. I gotta have you. I don't think you did the podcast a lot when you were on interviews with other people.
Or
maybe you-
interviews.
Who are you
Huh?
talking to?
It was just interviews.
Are you talking to me?
No,
Right.
Michael. on
Oh,
the
I
chat.
was like, you're looking straight at me like I'm like
He
I
does
was
do
for
that a lot when
interviews.
he's talking.
Yeah.
Still
Sorry.
try
I try
to-
to engage with the chat, but still kick eye contact.
No, that's fine. I just didn't know because it was like you asked the question like right at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm getting good.
was
at
I
this.
around?
No, but I don't believe he talked about this on the podcast. But if
Um,
maybe he came on the podcast and he was inspired to start his own, that'd be kind of dope. That's
Maybe.
happened before with this podcast network.
Do you have other? Did you have more news to talk about? Because I thought.
No, I
you
didn't have
know.
anything. I'm gonna be honest. My
Okay, I don't think I have
preparation
anything
sucked.
either.
Marry Me came out on Blu-ray today.
Ooh.
For those of you who
yeah.
care
And
about that,
the Foo Fighters did cancel all their upcoming tours.
Oh,
I'm not surprised.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of sucks, but
Did you see it yet?
I did. I went to the theater to go see it.
Oh, you told me
Opening
that.
weekend. Yeah,
Was it good?
I loved it honestly. And you can say whatever you want. I went to go see Marry Me and I loved it. I'm gonna go buy the Blu-ray tonight.
I don't
what's
say nothing.
what is Marry Me?
So it
Jennifer
is-
Lopez and
and
Owen
Owen
Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah, they do a
Oh.
romantic comedy together.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Good
This is why
job.
I said I don't really care what anybody thinks. It was a good movie.
Hey, listen, if you
Don't-
like
don't judge
something,
it.
you like something. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do
Well,
with me.
I like her as an actress, and I like him. So putting them both together, it just kind of made sense to go see.
Yeah.
So the new PlayStation Plus may sound a lot like Xbox Game Pass, but first-party exclusive games will not go straight to service on release day, at least not yet. And it says PlayStation will not add first-party exclusive at launch.
Do they have PlayStation 2 games?
Probably. They will, but they won't be able to do like the whole back category because Xbox is having all these backwards things, but they go out and reach and talk to these old studios like, hey, can we put this game back on for that backwards compatibility?
Okay.
And they go and they pay for licensing and make sure and help that PlayStation's not doing that legwork. So if it's not owned by them, there's a lot of backwards games you probably won't see.
I just want the Harry Potter.
Or it
one.
might take long.
You definitely won't see those
I know.
because they have to go out and talk to WB, and WB has to be willing to do it.
Yeah,
You might have a chance if Xbox does the legwork,
that's fine.
and then they say, "Oh, it's backwards on both now."
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever does it, I want it. I don't want to have to sit on my PlayStation 2.
Because Xbox will
in
go and contact the
2022.
studios and say, "Hey, can you give us the permission to use this old game?"
Yeah.
And then also, can we take the limiters and caps off so it runs at better frame rates? And then they port it over and they do a lot more work to it to
Yeah.
make it look better.
So that brings up at least an interesting question for me anyway. So when you look at things that are written, right? Like books or like music and all that kind of stuff, after a certain period of time, they become
Public domain.
public domain, right?
Yeah.
Will a video game eventually become public domain?
I do
Where
not know.
They
Because
they don't need to go
Mhm.
get the studio's
Because
permission?
so say example, if they make a movie on a video, like a video game on a movie,
Yeah.
I think it's still tied into that franchise.
Right.
rights.
I'm just saying, eventually, does that ever hit a point where
There's times where there's music
It
in
won't.
games.
Yeah.
That goes up and are the rights for that like Alan Wake had a song in the game that the band said you can only use it for so long. Then the game hit back release like a second release.
Sure.
And the backwards compatibility, all that was we can't use it because we don't have the rights to that song. And so they couldn't use they couldn't put the game on marketplace.
that's
Weird.
dumb.
And they had to take it off the digital for a long time because that a song in the game wasn't legally allowed to be used.
I don't know. I feel like that's dumb on his part.
Yeah, I would just
Yeah.
be like,
Why wouldn't you just
forever,
sign
pay
it?
me
Yeah.
forever.
That's fine as long as I'm being paid.
Yeah.
It's not like they're being shady about it.
Breath of the Wild sequel delayed till 2023. Sonic the Hedgehog movies will not follow the games in order. Moon
They
Knight
were
got a
supposed to be?
7 on IGN as a preview. Morbius is getting horrible reviews for previews already. People who have seen Morbius said it's not good. Once again, don't just take that word for it. Go if you're really, really passionate about it, go watch it.
I'm still gonna go see it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still gonna see it.
I don't know anything really about him as a comic book, so I don't know what those reviews are. Maybe they horribly messed up the comic book version and took it in their own path, and that's why
Yeah.
people.
Well, that
hate on
comic
it.
was still in a weird thing too, where they couldn't call him a vampire because during the times when they were writing comics, you weren't allowed to use zombies or vampires.
Yeah,
So they had to like name the living vampire because you weren't allowed to use undead characters in comic books
right.
because of the weird comic book like laws and
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah. And then I'm not gonna dive super into it because I really don't fucking care, and I'm sure everyone's sick of fucking reading about it and
Well,
talking
I
about
didn't
it.
want to talk about it.
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at a show
For the new
at-
Impractical Joker season.
Yeah.
starting on Saturday.
yeah. Chris Rock made a joke about his
I didn't
wife
see it.
who's going through a condition where she's been losing her hair. She's also made jokes about it just to kind of cope on social media. He made a joke. Will Smith laughed, then looked over at his wife. She wasn't laughing. He got up out of his chair. He assaulted Chris Rock and then went back and sat back down and then screamed, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth." And then Chris Rock was like, "Whatever, this is great TV." And then they both issued apologies to each other. Kumbaya, we're all good. Let's move on with our lives. Anything you guys want to add?
No.
No,
Not really.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so that happened. There you go.
I don't know. I
I
didn't
can
really.
care less. I don't think people should be putting their hands on each other. That's just me. I just think it's really funny that obviously my personal take is I think Will Smith's going through some shit,
Yeah.
especially in his marriage and shit like that. And I think all these people who are making these posts saying like men's mental health is important and we should not take it serious, like joke about it. And then Will Smith has a possible meltdown on TV and everyone's like,
Yeah.
like, cool, you're a hypocrite. Awesome. Yeah, because you can definitely see like I'm a fan of the dude, man. Like
Yeah.
he's inspired me for a very long time with Fresh Prince and onward. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
he's always been a person for a positivity beacon for me. Like no matter like he's willing to show you his weaknesses. He's like, and this is another version of where he said like, hey, I was at a point of weakness, and it was a huge disappointment because to get up and slap somebody in the face during
Sure, but
Yeah.
I will say, it shows he's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's at the Oscars of
Yeah.
all places, but he's still
I
human.
just wonder, like, that's a big, like, room.
Yeah.
How far did he have to walk?
He
was
must have
front
had
row.
front row. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was,
okay.
I think, in the front.
I was like, that.
I think it's kind of annoying
Never
too
do
that
that.
after it was over, the Grammys like, we do not condone this and we will never.
But you left him.
You let him stay in the performance and then come back out and accept his next award.
Yeah.
You don't say you don't condone it because if you didn't condone it, you would have escorted him out. Sorry.
Or you would have had like security,
Or
you
he
know,
would have been
Yeah.
arrested for assault.
Well,
to
is
stop
it-
him from
I
going
think
up
it's
to the stage.
technically not assault if it's an open hand slap. I heard that somewhere.
It's simple assault.
Well,
But I think it also depends if Chris Rock.
wanted
Press
to
it.
press charges. Yeah.
Chris Rock did not press charges.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
If he
if they
wanted
can't
to, he
stop
probably
the
could.
performance to be like, oh,
Yeah.
are you going to press charges on this so we can take him out?
Should we call the police?
Yeah. I feel like if it would have went farther, sure.
Yeah.
But
And speaking of more DC villains, he was dead shot.
Yeah, I
that
was
my,
like-
that was my segue.
Okay.
The Batman director has released a teaser or a deleted scene.
yeah, I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You don't like it?
No,
Why?
because it looks like the Joker's a fucking burn victim.
You ever see what chemicals do to skin?
I don't like it. I'm tired of this hardcore, let's kill everybody Joker. I want the funny, crazy one.
Joker has always been a murderous psychopath.
I get that,
serial killer.
but I like
It wasn't
like
about his
the-
like humor. or
yeah,
some of them.
I
It was
like
more
the in between
serious.
where he's this perfect balance between the laughs and the psycho.
Yeah.
I feel like all these Jokers now are just let's make him crazy, and that's it.
he's crazy.
I know, but like, I don't know.
So you want the 1966 Joker?
At some point, I want a nice in between Jack Nicholson.
I think it really
and
comes
Heath
down
Ledger.
to the every Joker has to fit your Batman,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
So Nicholson's Batman fit Michael Keaton's. Nicholson's Joker fit Michael Keaton, even though everyone hated Leto, and we didn't see a lot of Leto, but that Joker was formed to that style of
Sure.
Batman. And I think with this new style of Batman, we get this movie.
Yeah.
They lean very, very heavily into the horror aspect. So they leaned into
Sure.
the more terrifying look version of the Joker. And once again, obviously he's not full Joker yet. Like his hair's still growing in,
See,
so he's not
is
full. He said it's been a year since our anniversary.
yeah,
So this is a year since he has fallen into the vat. He's not full Joker yet, just like Batman's not full Batman.
right.
because you see in the deleted scene, Batman makes a crucial mistake. Did you notice that?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
When Batman slides the paperwork in.
Yeah.
So this scene is supposed to take place because Batman's having a hard time figuring out what he has to do with the Riddler.
Yeah.
So he goes to the one person he knows is just as more deranged than the Riddler to figure out a game plan. And it's pretty much a scene of the Joker telling him, "You're just like this guy. Think like you, and you'll figure this out."
Yeah.
But when he slides the paperwork in for the Joker to read it, there's paper clips like holding things together. When the Joker slides it back, the paper clip's missing. So Batman, in his moment of weakness, pretty much gives Joker a paper clip so he can then break out later.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
What sets up, and then I guess at the end of the movie, before this deleter scene was leaked, or put out, that the Riddler, when he does eventually get caught, meets the Joker in Arkham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about what we're into now, or start our topic first?
I mean, we can talk about what we're
Yeah. We're about 40 minutes in. We can probably I'd get into the topics and then we'll end with what we're into. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine because I didn't realize.
It's Arkham Joker and it's amazing. They did his makeup perfect. Yeah. So this makeup, like, I think his skin's gonna turn more white instead of like actually.
I mean, it doesn't have to be white.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just.
And then 1989 Batman. Yeah, he's saying the Jack Nicholson. Where Jack Nicholson legit paints his face white and not
Right.
Because that acid bath is essentially what makes Joker's face white.
Sure. I mean, I get, that everybody makes their own design choices and stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely one that I feel is completely different, but
This
it threw me to
this is
see
kind
him
of
being bald, partially bald.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the face paint not being there, but he looked too much like Freddy Krueger started growing hair back, essentially.
Yeah.
And I just
there is comic book renditions where they kind of pulled from for this. Like
Okay.
there's a comic book, I believe it's he's saying the Arkham ones, where the cover of the comic is like the Joker from the chin down, the nose down, and his smile is just the chemicals just ripped off his, like he has a really bad chemical burns and his teeth are deformed, and that's kind of what they went for this look.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at him in that sense, like it almost makes me feel the same way how I felt about the remake of Freddy. It was too much.
Blasphemy.
It was too much. Like the makeup, don't get me wrong, was done fantastically, and with the makeup with the Joker in this and stuff from the lead scene, it looks great. It's just not what I envision.
Yeah.
Personally, as the Joker.
I get that. All right. Well, speaking of remakes like the Hot Nightmare on Elm Street, let's dive in to our main topic: remakes versus sequels.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of hot topic buttons here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna talk about some movies. And you can put some in the chat for yourself. And we have like a little bit of, you'll describe in a second here exactly what you're leaning towards when it comes to these topics. But we're gonna talk about some movies, and some people are gonna be really big fans, and some people are gonna say they hated them. There's gonna be a lot of remakes that people are gonna say they hated that I'm gonna say I liked.
Most people just hate remakes in general.
I think that's.
So I'm gonna just jump right in.
Yeah,
on
do
that.
your thing, 'cause I know
it's
you
not
have.
part of my notes on this, but we were talking about it in the car. Everyone, like if I mentioned The Thing, right?
Yeah.
The movie The Thing. What movie do you think of?
John Carpenter.
Yeah, but which
Oh, the first one.
Which one?
The
Kurt Russell.
What year?
Kurt Russell one.
Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the original.
That's a
that
is a remake.
It is absolutely a remake.
Oh,
There
think
is
there was
one
one
from
like
the 50s.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
the 50s.
that wasn't
came out
Carpenter.
first.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
It definitely wasn't Carpenter. It was the 50s.
No, I know, but I'm saying I don't know who about it. But The Thing is a sequel.
Yeah.
And then when they came out with the one that was in what
2011.
11, yeah, everyone thought that was a reboot to the series. However, it's a prequel to the 80s version, because the way that movie ends is with the helicopter and they're chasing the dog, right where The Thing in the 80s starts.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the new one.
So I thought it was a reboot.
Newer.
So I didn't watch it. And then when I found out through another podcast that it was actually a prequel, I was like, oh, well, now I want to watch it because I really liked The Thing. And I just kind of wanted to see the progression of it. So it's kind of stuff like that too, where, people don't really think that they're a sequel, or like how we all assumed that The Thing was from the 80s was the first, when it's actually a sequel in itself.
I feel like I've heard that, but I didn't see the first one.
I've never seen the actual, like, The Thing. But the first question, are sequels a trend between companies? So I'm just throwing this out. Like in the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of sequels from Ghostbusters, Halloween, Scream, Texas Chainsaw, Toy Story, a whole bunch of things. Now, this is more just how we all kind of feel about this particular question. But like, do you think, like, let's say Halloween came out first, right? They did 2018. It did really well, and other companies were like, oh, even if they already had something kind of in the works, they're like, oh, maybe we need to hop on this bandwagon of we need to make a sequel, right?
Yeah.
This is what people want. They're super excited about this one. How can we get ours again?
I would say, actually, you know what movie I'll give the credit for? I think what you're trying to allude to is what's old is new again, right? So
I feel like
you're
people
making
like nostalgia.
You're making a sequel, a squeakle. We always make a joke on Banging Bears that word, the squeakles. Yeah, like the I think the movie that really started that ball rolling again, where what's old is new again, is Star Wars. When they made the new trilogy for Star Wars, and they brought back Han, and they brought back Leia, and everyone's like, oh my god, like these characters are now in this, like you see them older, and it's like and they're ushering in a new generation.
Oh, so you're talking about not the prequels, but the new set of three.
The new set of three, okay. and bringing back those nostalgic characters, and then we get Carpenter, who's like, yeah, I'll help be a part of this new thing, and with these new writers and stuff, but we want to erase everything that I didn't like about the other ones and start fresh.
Right.
But you're still bringing in Jamie Lee Curtis. You're bringing in what's his name as an adult now.
And those are kind of some of the things that I want to touch on, like, what do we look forward in sequels?
Scream brought back all their main players for the most part. And
so the next thing on my list is, who are the sequels for? Right. Now, I mean, this could be opinion, but it could not be. Like, for instance, Jeepers Creepers 3. The reason why they made number 3 is because the fans truly wanted a number 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't about like the money aspect or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like it's not the strongest of the 3, but that's kind of because they put it in the middle of 1 and 2, which that's a little weird because, like, at least for the Creeper, in my opinion anyway, you see in the first movie, he's like, you learn about him a little bit, and then the second movie, learn a little bit more about him, and he gets a bit more intelligent and how he traps things. And you throw a movie in between them, and it's like, well, the progression just went out the window because you have him kind of smart in the first one, super smart in 3, which is 2, and then he gets dumber.
Yeah.
And it, like, I don't know, that's a little
maybe he Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers, and took a dumb guy's brain
maybe
for the next movie.
Maybe he ate Derry's brain in between.
I think that's what happened.
Maybe
he ate a
that's
dumb
what
brain.
It is.
Yeah.
But then like Toy Story, right? It seems like they pump out Toy Story every so many years to kind of catch the next generation of people. Be like, it's still the same storyline. We're still kind of working with these characters. And I kind of see that as more of a trend in that case.
Well, can I pitch something here?
Sure.
I think, and it sounds weird and dumb to say, but I think the studios are listening to fan theories, because people make fan theories of how they would do. Like, we joke, like, I'm not saying they listen to us, but like Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
we pitched what what our perfect Ghostbusters movie would be and how we would go about doing it. And we're not saying we nailed it 100%.
No, but
all the elements as a fan that you're like, this was what would scratch that nostalgia itch and usher in a new generation of Ghostbusters that we would be happy with.
Right.
And I think that's what studios are doing. They're like, maybe don't overthink it and just do the smart move and bring nostalgia in and do it in a right way to make the fans happy.
Right.
And these movies are just kind of nailing it, where people are like, that's what we wanted. Yeah, for the most part. But like Spider-Man, I've done a reboot, but it's a continuation of a series, but it's just like, what the fuck? This is what you fucking should do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're I guess I don't want to say rebooting because of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like, you're bringing life back into their
you're bringing life in
that aren't
now people are like, now I kind of want to see where this franchise goes with these guys. You know what I mean?
So like, it becomes endless possibilities in that sense too.
It does not help at all. You can hear it in the rest of our mics.
So we all need to like mute around.
You can, but you can't.
Everyone needs to mute.
So let's see.
What are some in the chat? If you're watching,
I do think
put in the chat some of your favorite sequels and some of your favorite remakes and then we'll go through your favorites first while we're,
Sure.
and then we'll say ones you absolutely disliked, and we'll do that. So if you're in the chat and you're hanging out with us, some favorite sequels or continuations. They don't have to always be the sequel, but they could be like part 3, part 4, whatever you want to do, and then and some remakes you like, and then we'll dive in later on with your dislikes. You can get ready for your dislikes then, because I'm sure your dislikes will be heavier than your likes, because that's how people go. But I think people are preconceived notions to not like reboots or remakes because in the past they weren't done very well.
No, I think people are just always set in their ways. Like people don't like change. So if you reboot something and it's not exactly, or they just don't want it to be a new one because they think the original is so perfect, which it may be, but I don't know. I like remakes. I like to see whoever's doing it. I like to see what kind of new ideas they come up with.
Right.
Sometimes they're not good, but I still like to see it.
I was
I'm
somebody for a
open
long
it.
time who was like, I won't watch different versions of like superhero things, because what I thought was the origin and what I thought because of the one comic I read, and then I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot, because they did 100 different graphic novels and 800 different artists and writers have taken their own versions of origin stories of different villains and characters and changed them completely.
Right.
And the ones that were really popular then turned into other things. But to sit there and say that a movie can't do that, and you're gonna, like, especially in the comic book, I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's not my comic book. Stop it.
I mean,
your
that's
favorite
fine.
character has 19 different origin stories.
Right.
And, yeah.
But you can have that opinion though too. But I feel like there also has to be that mentality of, all right, my thing's over here. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what show I was like that for a very long time, and then I went back and started watching again, and I was like, man, I should finish this, is Gotham. When Gotham first came out, I was like, fuck this show. You're gonna tell me Kid Batman and Kid Catwoman are friends?
Yeah.
I hate this.
I like
And
that.
Poison Ivy's in her 30s already. Like,
yeah, I thought that part was the
but I was like, you know what?
characters were
It's
strange,
somebody
but
else's
I
take
liked
on it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's making
long
more
as you
content
stay-
for Batman.
The only thing that would bother, the only thing that bugs me in movies is if you break away from what the character initially was as a person. Like at some point in time, the character has to stay at least in the same realm or realm of what that character stood for or who they are as a person.
You can't necessarily have someone who's like this super big, like, I do charity work and this and that, and then in the movie or the remake of the movie, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, it's
like, I don't care if you change their race, if you change their sex, if you change their sex,
that means
if they're into
nothing.
guys or they're into girls, if they're gay or they're straight or trans, that doesn't bother me. As long as they stay the core and what that character stands for, that I'm fine with that.
As long as that heart still beats the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to bring up a stretching wound, but like the Cruella movie, it didn't make sense to me because what I envisioned that character was, or what that like it was complete. They heroized. They made her a hero instead of this ugly, disgusting human being that she was from I grew up with. So it's tough. But I once again I still appreciate what the person.
You also watched it.
Absolutely.
Either way, you watched it. You weren't just like, screw this movie. I'm not watching it because it's not my version.
I watch everything.
Yes, you do.
So this question was brought up to me specifically because of Scream 5. Should original cast members be untouchable if in a sequel?
No.
Okay.
They're fair game.
I think it makes more of an impact sometimes.
Yeah. So, like, obviously, the Scream has been out for a while. Are you all right knowing who dies?
I got to that part.
Okay. So Dewey dies.
Yes.
Right. The movie's been out long enough.
I feel like if they, sorry, go ahead.
No. That was kind of.
It set a tone.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's been stabbed how many times already? If they didn't kill him, it
wouldn't make any sense.
It would just be like, all right.
He was sloppy.
How is he this untouchable? Like, he never dies. Like, he's kind of sloppy. Like, how does he keep surviving?
Like in Scream 2, like he's like bleeding out all over the floor and everything else, and like
we got a live
how
one.
is he still alive?
Right. Like, there's no way he should still be alive after this many already.
I think what made the scene cool is when the guy, when he does stab him, he was like, he says to him, it was an honor.
Sure.
Like, which made it like, oh, this is like a deranged fucking person.
So, in speaking of that particular scene, there was, do we know?
I think
it was.
Yeah.
So
it was
she
her.
is the one that's like,
yeah.
The other guy's a little more
Right.
calm. And I was reading an article
So-
about that earlier.
Just speaking of
I
that
picked.
scene-
I knew both killers because I
Oh, you didn't say no. You only had the one.
only got one right.
Yes,
I thought I said the other one, and you're like, you just shook your head at me because you're
you're
pissed.
wrong. You only got the first. You only got one.
Oh, I said the one killer. 3 seconds. She goes, I fucking hate you.
Wait,
Well, I
which one
had
was
the-
it?
The boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly, I didn't think they were gonna go that route with him.
Oh, 3 seconds. I
one-
like a killer.
The girl though, I was like,
Oh, I called
she's
her.
suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
I called
Yeah.
her right away. I paused it and I messaged her because I was like, I need to get this out so it's down that this was my prediction.
And it's like she was trying to keep her sister away from her type
Yeah.
deal. I was like, first off, she's family. She has more priority over
Yeah.
you than anybody. So don't say
Yeah.
that she can't go see her.
She
Right.
gave off real creeper vibes.
Mhm.
so while we're talking about Scream and this particular one and that particular scene where Dewey dies and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh, I
um,
know what you're saying.
there's a particular part, and I want to present this as a general thing to the audience. So, in Scream, if you are a Scream fan, you know that he changes, or her, or whoever it is, right under the mask, changes their voice. They have that voice changer and all that kind of stuff, right? Do you need to physically see in the movie them click a switch in their neck to be like, oh, now my voice is different?
I think with
No.
today's technology, I thought it was a cool touch.
I thought
Okay.
it was different because they don't really talk with their mask. Like I don't remember ever really seeing.
I
them.
thought.
Right.
I
We
thought.
don't
they always
really
have the
see-
I
hand.
thought them doing it and being able to talk
Mhm.
to their victim was a cool touch.
Okay, so hearing that aspect of it, I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like as a video editor, I looked at it in the sense of like, why was that not cut out? Like,
Yeah.
unless you've never seen Scream,
Yeah, I thought.
Why?
I thought that it
I
was
thought
an
it was,
honor.
like, a
I thought
new-
it was an honor move right there
Yeah.
in that scene. I thought that was a cool touch to be like, "Fuck, Dewey's gone."
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then the whole time I was like, "He's gonna fucking come crawling out."
So-
of there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
I'm still
for
alive.
No, but I do
the
back to the
Blu-ray,
button, like,
he
I do
comes
think
back
that.
and it's like, he's alive.
And someone
did
just like,
Guys, I'm still here.
I've been stabbed. I'm bleeding very badly.
Like I feel like that was a touch to make it like because it is so far in advanced, like technology wise. Before it was just like a little handheld thing, so he
Yeah.
couldn't really talk.
Sure,
I mean, in
with it.
Scream 1, they're using house phones that are the size of fucking Buicks.
I mean,
They're
This is
like
true.
Phones, yeah.
but
so
I just like, I don't know.
I
To
didn't
me,
dislike it.
as it, I was like, that really messes with pacing. Like, I didn't.
Well,
really
and then
see
after
that.
you
Get
said
that
it to
out
me,
of
I
here.
was like, I guess that we didn't really need to see it. But then thinking about it more, like I feel like it was a
It's an upgrade in
I
technology.
didn't. I didn't
Yeah.
finish
see
it.
as
Does
that.
Does they ever use it again? Like
No,
No,
it's
it's
just that one
Just
moment
that
that you see that. I'm
it
like,
was an honor.
but that's the only
Well,
part
Well,
that
you
he
don't see it
talks.
in the mask, but like you see them hold it again.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, they don't really use it after that.
But
Yeah.
that's like the only time that he talks, I think, with the mask on.
So
Which is like the only time in
So we
any
do
of the
have some
movies, right?
sequels here in the chat. Everett says favorite sequels: T2,
okay.
X2. Wow.
No, don't wow.
Wow.
X2 was great.
Off the top of my head, favorite remake: Death Wish. Least favorite sequels: The Crow, City of Angels. I will agree. Kick-Ass 2. I'd have to go back, but I don't remember
I
really hating that.
Yeah.
Really hate much.
Favorite remakes: Hellboy.
No,
And
Hellboy was a remake.
Yeah, there was a Hellboy remake.
oh yeah, it was with the dude from Stranger Things. Plays
David Harbour.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you
yeah,
forgot about that.
That's
Yeah.
right. I don't think I saw that one. I saw the.
and he
first
said
one.
Scream 5 was great, enjoyed it, and the
So
franchise and the franchise since '97. Yeah, for Scream
Yes.
franchise is so criminally
So good.
underrated.
It is.
People
Mhm.
hate it though. Like in a lot of the horror pages I'm in, people hated it.
It changed fucking horror movies for
Mhm.
almost 10 years
Mm.
I
because
love-
everyone went with the whodunits.
Yeah.
No, but they hated the remake, and then they hated. There's a lot of people who hated 4, and
The worst part of the remake was Courtney Cox's bangs. That one.
that was like what 2?
Oh my god, who fucking let her out of the house? Like who cut her hair and goes, "That looks great,
Yeah, that's
Courtney. Go
right.
ahead and live your life."
That
Well,
and I'm like, you
yeah.
look fucking ill.
It was approved by several people. I
Yeah.
can guarantee you it was approved by several people before.
There's a meme about it, and like there's like a picture of her. Like she must have retweeted it. She's like, "Wow." Like 'cause people are like,
She's like,
Why
I
did
know.
she do
Please
this?"
stop tweeting me this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now kind of like shifting gears a little bit. Toy Story, right?
Mhm.
We have Toy Story 4.
I don't think I've seen. Them.
Okay. Well, I think I skipped 3. But this doesn't really affect anything in that sense. So like Toy Story 4, right? The end of the movie, Woody is left behind. He decides he's going to go his own separate way.
Mm.
So does that end Toy Story? or are they going to invent a problem that Woody's going to have to come back for if they want a 5? Or is it going to go in the route where, like we saw in previous ones where there's multiple Buzz Lightyears? Are they going to just find a new Woody toy and it's still going to be Tom
I
Hanks?
feel like it's open enough that they could just do whatever.
Right. So that was just something
Yeah.
that came to mind where
Real
it's
quick,
like,
I just want to share this with the world real quick.
Sure.
Look at these fucking things.
that is what? Where was that from?
That was
Swa-
like number
Scream.
2, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
Who
It-
told her that was a good idea with her hair?
Was it Scream 3 maybe?
Jesus.
I was going to say,
What
I
a-
don't recognize
It's
that.
2 or 3.
It's
I
terrible.
can't remember.
It must be 3 because I just watched 2 the other day.
I feel awful for her.
And I,
be 3.
That's a real thing. That really happened to her.
yeah.
That
She
was the
still looks
movie where
really
they
good,
all went
though.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Her hair didn't go Hollywood.
No,
Her hair went to the trailer park.
even
They
Jay
look
and
good,
Silent
though,
Bob
now.
are in that movie, and that's like the most confusing thing about that movie. Like,
In
why?
Scream?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scream 3.
'Cause
They
they're
make
in
cameos.
Hollywood. Yeah, they're in Hollywood.
They
Oh my
pass by, I think, Courtney Cox, and they make a statement about her, and she says like "F you" or something like to them, and that's like it.
I
It's like
completely
really.
forgot
They're like
about that.
walking around like the studios.
That's crazy.
So
Oh, they were Miramax movies at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
while we're also kind of still talking about Scream and stuff, I proposed this to Anthony earlier. So I was, for some reason, it came to my mind that I would love to see a fight between Michael Myers and Ghostface at some point. And I thought to myself, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But why? Why is it impossible? And I'm going to throw it out to you guys why it's impossible.
Because
Anthony
Ghostface,
already knows the
I had
answer.
to think about it for a minute.
Okay.
Ghostface is like normal person.
Okay.
Michael Myers
He's a normal
is
person?
not.
That's what I said.
Sure.
Too.
Like he is, but he's not. He's
Sony?
supposed to be, but he's not.
All right. Are we talking original franchise Michael Myers or new Michael Myers?
Whichever.
Original franchise, I think Ghostface has a shot because there's always been more than one Ghostface.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
So they can double team him.
Sure.
But new Michael Myers is fighting an entire fire department. You have no shot.
Okay.
He's fucking you up.
You know what?
And here's the thing.
He's like
Go-
invincible.
as
like,
a killer, Ghostface fucking sucks, dude. He's getting kicked. He's getting his ass whooped almost the
he's
entire.
like a normal person.
Because he's like a high
Yeah.
school kid that doesn't know how
Yeah.
to fucking fight or do anything, and he's
Sure.
getting kicked around the living room.
Mhm.
Michael Myers, you fuck up and fall on the ground once, Michael Myers, you're done ski. It's
I know.
over.
Yeah, but that's not the reason.
Okay, why?
It will never happen for one reason. And that is because they watch Halloween in number 1. They're not going to
And-
bring Michael Myers
And technically
to
in the
fight
new one.
Ghostface.
yeah, and technically.
But I'm just saying, like, in the very first movie,
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to watch Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're never going to see that.
Right.
And it just, like, it hit me today. I was like, oh, well, that's never going to happen because they put him in the movie
Yeah.
as that already. So it's like, I was just curious.
He said favorite Ghostface. I'm going original.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
sure.
original.
Yeah.
Which
For
one?
sure.
Billy and
Okay. I was going to
Billy
say,
and
do
Stu.
you have a
It's Stu.
preference, though, between the two of them?
I mean, I don't know who was doing what killings, so
Right.
it's hard to say which ones. But
I mean, you can figure it out. Billy obviously killed Casey.
Did he?
Yes, because
Uh,
when they're talking about it at school outside in the fountain, and Randy says something about killing him, and he goes, oh shit, what did he say? Something about no, I didn't kill her, and then Billy says, no one said you did.
So I just noticed that look, by the way, the other
Yeah.
day when I watched it. I was like, they did
and then
that
he
from the
and then
very
he goes,
beginning.
thanks, buddy.
So
he
I
did.
don't know.
Billy
I
did it.
always thought it was Stu because it was his ex.
Yeah, because she left him.
But that would make it,
in
like,
a minute.
Yeah, but
he
that
would be
make it
he would
like
be,
he would be the
prime
suspect,
prime suspects. So
which
they're
they talked about.
they're swapping prime
Right.
like so.
Yeah, but he didn't kill Sydney. Stu. It was Billy.
That's because Billy's the one with the
Wait.
beef.
yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it was then Billy, I guess, goes after everybody.
Yeah.
So Stu is just the guy dressed up to be the double.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
It's tough. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
That's why you're like. I think that's what makes
I
Scream
feel
fun
like
is when you
Billy
go back
was-
when you know who the killer is and you go back like
Mm.
who was doing which.
Yeah.
Like, who was it in each
Yeah.
season.
I feel like Billy was like the real psycho, but Stu was just kind of long.
Stu
for
was
a
having
ride.
like just having fun with it. Like
Yeah.
he was
Parents are gonna be so mad.
trying to
My parents are gonna be so
play with the
mad.
victims, kind of.
it cut me too deep. Fucking
I think
dying
I
here.
think I'm dying.
You're gonna call my
I'm
parents.
feeling a little woozy. That's what I said in the
Feeling a
parking
little-
lot.
Woozy here.
When I left, we were leaving the hospital after my surgery because I didn't want to wake up. I stayed for like 5 extra
Oh
hours.
my god. They're like, I'm like, you're gonna get charged fucking so much money. Get the fuck out of here. She's like, I ain't going anywhere.
Go back to sleep.
I'm sitting there like, I just want to go to fuck
I was
home.
like, I'm feeling a little woozy here.
Yeah.
So The next part of this is, should a sequel or is it okay for a sequel to live in the universe of a franchise but have nothing to do with the main storyline? In the case of like Halloween 3, where it wasn't supposed to be. I know what the original thing was for them, but then now it's just, it's a part of Halloween because now he's in like the masks.
Is there any other movies that did that where it was part of the franchise?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if a movie even came out as a sequel and it had nothing really to do with the storyline, like if Ghostface, for instance, wasn't in Woodsboro and it was just some random, like a stab movie, essentially, where it was still Ghostface, but he had nothing to do with Nev or any of that kind of stuff. They just kind of wore the mask.
I don't know.
What was that? Was a TV show? Did they ever talk about Nev? Like, did they ever talk about Sidney Prescott in the TV show?
I don't think, but aren't they still in Woodsboro?
I think they're still in Woodsboro, but they don't talk about.
That's the thing. Like, no trace to the original timeline or anything.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other movies
thing.
that tried to do that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can't
Maybe
think
there's
of
not.
any.
But I'm saying, like, also, too,
I don't know how I feel about it.
Would you be upset if they came out with something and it had nothing to do with that, but it's still in that universe?
I mean,
did technically New Nightmare kind of do that?
No, because it's still used. It was still Freddy. Like Freddy.
But no, I mean, like, it's after the first one, kind of, but it's made
to be
as a movie.
Fair, it kind of does fall under that category because it's them as actors in real life.
Yeah, but they brought
chased
back
by a monster.
But they
that
brought
looks
back
like Freddy.
original cast members and everything.
Right, but Heather Langenkamp's not playing
Nancy. She's
but
playing
she's
herself.
Heather
She is Nancy.
No, I know that, but like, do movies like that where they make the actors
be themselves,
just themselves,
not the characters?
I wouldn't count that. I would say that Wes Craven's New Nightmare is almost in the realm of like a reboot sequel, where it's kind of like they break down the fourth wall of saying the entire movie was not real and it was a movie the entire time.
Yeah.
So I because a lot of people don't like that because they kind of erase everything that ever happened in the movies that did never happen, because Wes Craven's New Nightmare kind of breaks down that fourth wall.
Yeah.
I enjoy that movie.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best ones.
I mean, I Dream Warriors, just because it's so fucking silly.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
I don't know. I feel like,
which is crazy because Dream Warriors is probably going to win Fright Rags' sequel, March Madness.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I would have thought Jason 3 would have won it all, because Jason 3 is a really good part. Like, out of all the Jasons, that's where he almost like where Jason dons his hockey mask and like becomes Jason Voorhees.
Is that in a particular set, or is he still at? Because I know, like,
he's at Camp Crystal Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's Jason 3 is where we kind of get what we now know as Jason. That's why a lot of people really they regard Jason 3 as one of the higher ones, because it's actually Jason. But Dream Warriors is fucking wackadoo.
They talk about Jason in Scream 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's.
Oh, there's a good example. This guy, Everett, you're killing it tonight, my dude. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
It was great.
10 Cloverfield Lane was in the same universe as the first one and as the third one as well. I agree. I loved 10 Cloverfield Lane as a movie.
That's the one with John Goodman.
And I like how they tie, because I'm a person who I want more of that universe. I fucking love that universe, and I want as much of it I can get.
Sure. I was in a little bit different of a camp. I absolutely loved the movie. I loved that it was like this psychological thriller. Like, is he nuts? Is there really something going on? And then they had to throw aliens at the very end, and I'm like, why did you need that? Like,
because
you could have just
the entire time you're like, he's a fucking wacko.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, I would have had the same effect if she would have got in the car and heard there were alien attacks. I didn't need to see the aliens.
I did
at the very end,
only because I like that universe and I want more.
Sure.
And now I know that it's not just the Cloverfield monster. There's other fucking things.
But I also heard, though, too, that they were buying up scripts and molding them into Cloverfield stuff. So it kind of sucks that
supposedly there's a whole one where they go into a different paradox. So I know they kind of did a paradox in the part 3, but there's supposedly this whole Nazi zombie one they're gonna make that ties into Cloverfield somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see part 3, and I didn't.
The paradox one, a lot of people are not gonna like it, but I liked it.
I don't like the through the camera.
Yeah,
well,
I hate that one.
Cloverfield. See, I loved it because every time you watch it, you find something different about it, and how they lead it up to that. How they did a lead up to that movie where they had the news. Oh, I fucking love it.
I mean, there were certain things that I feel like if you took them out, it would have made the movie better. Like the one guy was filming SpongeBob at one point. It's like, really, is this needed? No, it's not needed.
Shows how they weren't taking it super seriously. Like they were just not going about their everyday. I don't know. I
Well,
thought
no, it was like when like everything was going to shit, and he's like in the I think like the TV store or something, and he's just filming SpongeBob, and he's not like, it's like, really, there's like buildings falling down, there's supposedly this monster outside, and you're filming SpongeBob.
You know what? You know the thing about that
Oblivious.
movie I like is that now if you hand anyone a camera, they automatically go into a brain where they're going to be like the next big director. They're going to be, because we're so accustomed to having a camera in our hand at all points in time. Where this movie is like, you hand somebody a handheld camera, and they would just
Would they even know what to do with it?
or they
Not.
would they would film stupid shit like filming of TV,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like we like that doesn't like I don't know like weird
Yeah.
things like that. Like
So anyway, back to the thing. I don't know. It's like a weird. I would still watch it,
Mm.
but I would prefer to have it connected.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Okay. These were just random things that I like as I was thinking about.
the only
this
other thing would
topic.
be the Ghostbusters remake, where it was part of the same universe but not part of the same.
So that
universe.
one just confuses me. I didn't watch it because of that reason.
yeah.
The
The girl Ghostbusters.
it's
I
the
didn't
marketing.
mind they were girls. I thought
Yeah.
as a movie, I thought it was fine. I thought the CGI was fun, but the fact that it was part of the universe but didn't lend any attribute to any of the other universe is
Yeah.
what turned it off for me.
Like the promotion was like, oh, 30 years later type thing. They're
Yeah.
saying like, oh, like the Ghostbusters exist, and then they made it seem like they didn't exist at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
The studio I felt was I think wanted it to be a reboot or a sequel, and they got backlash for it or something, and then they kind of
Mhm.
like then they were confused of what it was
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, if you're gonna make a movie, make a clear choice from the beginning.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear that the audience forced you into something.
Right. Just do
Put
what
your movie out.
plan is. and
Yeah, like
Take
Yeah.
it.
I would say the most confusing casting for that for me was Chris Hemsworth as like the desk guy. I was like, no, he should
Yeah,
not
that's
be the guy
weird.
sitting at the desk. It should be somebody who's like a comedy guy or something that
Yeah.
like anybody. Not, I don't think Chris Hemsworth should have been that role.
shouldn't have been Thor.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I
Because like he was
'Cause
just
it's
doing the
weird.
Avengers
It's
and
weird.
stuff.
See,
And
I
when you
think,
see him like in that role, it's like
I
that's
feel
kinda
like
weird.
I
I
understand
think a lot
why
of the
they
guys,
did it, but
like,
I didn't like
if you're looking back, you're like, she was kind of hot behind that desk. And her gold glasses. She had a weird voice, but she was kind of hot.
And that's why I feel like they did it on purpose because they were trying to appease to women by making that. But I think that's silly because it's unbelievable. Like it's not real.
He hasn't had us. How many times have guys like, oh man, if this girl ever knew how hot she would, she'd fucking take over the world. And then there's Chris Hemsworth that's behind a desk. Like, I have no idea I can play fucking Thor. I don't
Now,
know.
I mean, it'd be one thing if it came out first.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't like this massively ripped human being.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just
for
see him
those
now.
movies.
Like literally
sure
he's
he's
playing a
even
god.
worse.
Or if he was even
Yeah.
just like
He's
a
6 times his size
regular,
now.
like if
'cause
he
he's
was
trying to
just
play
a
Hulk Hogan.
regular sized attractive man, that would make sense.
Sure.
But not like
You don't start with Thor, God of Thunder, and then go to I'm gonna be the nerdy guy behind the desk.
right.
Or
That's
the guy with
weird.
the huge dick and
Now, see,
another remake.
that made sense in
that-
Vacation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Mm.
because
He already had that like pedestal that he's sitting on.
Mhm.
This not so much.
Next.
So this one may be hot topic for someone. I don't know. But like Disney tends to do this a lot. They make a lot of cartoon movies and they're like, listen, it's been years. Let's make a live action of it.
Mhm.
Is that a reboot or what?
I would say that's a live action adaptation.
Okay.
Mm.
So when you look at The Lion King, right?
I know you don't like to say it's live action.
It's not.
And I agree.
There's no lions in that movie.
it is completely 100%
there's nothing
CGI,
real.
Yeah.
but it's done with realism animation to make them all look
Sure.
like they're real animals.
But
You can't obviously
like, if you
use
said
lions
Jungle
and
Book,
tigers,
Live action.
Right. But are they
adaptation.
remakes?
No, I would say it's a live action adaptation.
Right.
Mm.
And the only reason I propose this is because a lot of those movies are almost like cookie cutters of the
Yeah.
cartoon,
Right.
where like a Maleficent movie it's not really cookie cutter. Like, it's the same
Right.
kind of storyline.
It's a
If
better
you,
story
if,
more
now,
on
if you
the
make
villain.
Sleeping
That's like a
Beauty, I
spin.
think you should try to stay as close to the original anime as you can. The reason
What
for
did you
that,
just say?
I think
Anime?
if
There's
like,
no,
anime?
no. There's no
Animation.
Disney anime.
animation, it's the same thing.
No,
No.
people will fight you for that.
It's listen. I
I'll
don't
fight
care.
you for that.
There's different style of animation.
Sure.
You can call it a
Okay.
slang name. Animation and anime are the same fucking thing.
Anyway.
Fight me. I don't care. But
Not us. We disagree.
I think that if you're gonna make a live adaptation, of original, like, listen, if you're gonna do the Corilla and you want to do like this is the Corilla story,
Right. I feel like because that's
Yeah.
like a
Do whatever
spin-off
you
or a
want.
backstory.
Sure.
That's different.
do whatever you want. But if you're gonna make
A live action or
live like
something.
Jungle Book, like I know they strayed away from some things in the Jungle Book that kind of, as a huge Jungle Book fan, turned me off a little bit.
Sure.
I honestly like the Mowgli movie that wasn't done by Disney
Oh,
So
yeah,
more than I like
That's
Jungle Book.
another kind of thing. It's like, do they remake a movie, or like in this case, Disney does something, but it's like an open right kind of thing.
Yeah.
And someone
was
else is like,
another
I don't
Jungle
like
Book.
that. I'm gonna make my own.
There
Well,
was another Jungle Book that wasn't Disney.
Yeah, the Mowgli movie.
No. Back when we were kids, there was another one that.
Well,
wasn't
Jungle Book, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin were all public domain characters. Like they were all public domain books, and
Yeah, but I'm saying like Disney made the Jungle Book, but then someone else made a live action Jungle Book.
yeah,
There was another one before, like the new one. I think.
when like kids, it was
Yeah.
out. I don't remember that one too much though.
Yeah.
But and as I'm saying this, I'm kind of thinking because there's a new movie coming out where I understand why they're not doing it the same way, and I'm cool with it. Snow White.
Like part of me says like I want it to be the same just because I think it's cool to see it different, but I also like to see it with live people, but I also like to see different stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I like to see how they change things.
I know.
Or like Cinderella with the new one, they changed the whole thing. Like she's not, oh, okay, Prince, let's fall in love and get married, blah, blah, blah. Like
Yeah.
she's like,
I kind of
I got my own thing going on. Like, and
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Like I'm a woke woman.
Yeah.
I don't need no man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway, and I get the whole. It's a thing. Peter Dinklage says we're in a better place in time now that we don't have to be little people living in a cave, and then other little people actors are like, yo, fuckface, this would be good money for all of us. How about you not go ahead and say that?
I heard. Now I didn't know this because I didn't watch it.
Because like
but
some little actors were like little people actors, or I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I'm not trying to be insensitive by saying little people, but like that's a show, right? Little people of whatever, right?
People, Big World.
Yeah. I hope I'm not being. Who knows? Fucking what's not? I don't know. My intention is not to be offensive when I say that.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see them be like, yo, this would be like if they made a live action. Like I've been sitting on this. Like I would be a great dopey.
They did. That's what I was trying
Yeah.
to get to. They did make a live action version. I forget which one it is, and they CG'd normal size actors and made them
Oh, that's weird.
instead of.
See, I think that's more offensive.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they should have
That's like
just got the
blackface.
actual.
There was another
actors.
Snow White too back in the day. I have it upstairs. I know I have it in the attic.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're all public domain. You can use those. Yeah.
So that's why I was like, that was a little weird. And then when you brought that up, I was like, oh well, I don't know if a lot.
Yeah,
of people
I would
know
say
that.
try to keep it as close as you can to the original.
Sure.
So like,
I think the storyline should probably. I don't know.
so if you're showing
don't
a
know.
kid Sleeping
I like
Beauty,
whatever.
right? When Sleeping Beauty or Snow White, not Sleeping Beauty. Fucking
Well,
Rose,
if you have Sleeping Beauty, and then she's never actually sleeping,
Beauty and the
that would be
Beast.
weird.
Beauty and the Beast.
That would be.
When you do Beauty and the Beast, and then you're like, oh, you like this one? This is the one I grew up on, and then you can kind of
Sure.
Yeah,
lead
that's
into
cool.
a new generation to why you like, you know what I mean? I
Sure.
kind of like that. I don't know.
No, I'm personally a fan of them kind of just doing those
Doing
kind of things.
The Jungle Book 1994, which had Jason Scott Lee, Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat played Mowgli.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I'm talking about.
Finish him.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure I have.
I have to go
upstairs.
back and rewatch that, but
Do you
yeah,
have a V-
in
do
the
you have
new ones, I
VCR?
thought Mowgli was better than the Jungle Book.
I think I did.
Even
that's
though
one I like, I can't
Christopher
remember.
Walken as King Louie is pretty fun, with his big orangutan tits.
Oh boy, he's an actor. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should
I
see him
don't-
as
I'm a
Captain Hook.
fan.
Yeah, I have him in a Broadway production
Oh.
that they did, like how they do like every year, like NBC or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make it. Well, one year they did Peter Pan and he was Captain Hook, and it is a laugh. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I have the DVD of it. I'll have to show
I
you.
do like. I don't know. I like remakes. I like
Here's a
when they do
question for
live
you.
action.
Because I'm very passionate about a certain movie, and everyone loves it, and everyone loves to do their own versions to it. And they're like, when I was in it, I was the best. But I don't like when they did this because it's not how it should be. And I hate it, especially when it comes to this style of movie, because it's fucking supposed to be done to your own interpretation.
Sure.
Rocky Horror Picture
I knew
Show.
that's what you're gonna
When
say.
they put that on TV, and everyone's
Laverne
like,
Cox.
fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Fucking was horrible. Oh, and you who have never won an acting award your whole entire life is
Yeah.
going to say that all those people did a bad job because you
Yeah.
played it on a fucking stage one time and you think you did better.
I thought it
That
was good.
whole idea of that play and to let people have their moments and be those characters, like
Be who you want to be.
I feel like that shouldn't be shit on or saying that
Yeah.
it was all like I thought it was done pretty. It was done as Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think those when something gets done in play or it gets done on theater, like
There's a difference.
let them have their moment like that. A Broadway play is supposed to be done to your interpretation.
Yeah.
Like you stay to the thing. Like the one we saw was the most different version of Rocky Horror Picture I've ever seen because they changed certain things because you have to go what props you have and certain things you can't do in front of
Right.
audiences or you can't do on a small like they changed some things up, but I thought the way they did it was fucking great. The one we saw at Shocktoberfest.
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there. It was so fucking cool how they did it, but they had to change some things because they had not a lot of space to work with, but
Sure.
they still got it done. You know,
And, that's what's great about like the theater side of things is that like you can see someone play and the same role over and over again, but different people playing that role.
And Dr. Frankenfurter
and
was
it's-
played by I'm saying a black man, but I don't know what gender I'm just
Sure.
assuming. I could be wrong. I apologize, but it was fucking awesome.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it can be played by
Mm-hmm.
anyone
Yeah.
essentially. Like for me as an actor, right? I fear the question when I get for auditions, how tall are you?
Mm.
That question never comes up in theater for some reason.
So I feel like that shouldn't even matter unless there's a reason. Like if it's something like say off of a book, because this drives me crazy. Like when they make a movie out of a book.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you walk on
And it
stage playing as
doesn't
Batman, I'm like,
fit.
fucking grow up.
Yeah, but you also have to imagine that most theaters you're down,
Yeah, so you're
So
gonna
much
look
lower.
bigger anyway.
right?
Yeah.
Because I've had performances where the audience was sitting at the same level as I was, and I came out and they're like, "Wait, you were him on stage?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah,
Hmm,
because
that
you
makes
look
sense.
bigger, I guess, on
Yeah.
stage or something, whatever.
Well, no,
But-
we were in a round. So for those of you who don't know what a round is, basically the audience sits on stage with you. And
Oh,
you
okay.
perform in the middle of the sections of it. So for them to like make a comment about that, it was like,
But
really?
I feel like when you're like looking at someone doing something, they always look.
Well, I love
so
how
I
don't know when
was
you can
this
press it.
far from the audience.
Oh well,
But I
then
love
never
how
mind.
on-
I don't know.
It's
but-
close.
in theater too, like if someone's good at what they do on stage,
Yeah.
you almost forget.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't have those moments of, all right, cut, let's do it again. You have to get it right. Or if
Right.
someone messes up, you have to be on your feet.
Or when
to
you
make it
talk
keep
to them
going.
after the show's over and they don't have their accent they just did for 2.5 hours, and you're,
Right.
you're like, holy fuck. That
Yeah.
or like for example, and I'm not trying to sound insensitive when I did it, but I went to go see that play at Bloomsburg,
Mhm.
and the kid was playing an autistic person,
Yeah.
or an autistic character for almost 2 hours, and then you talk to him and just the way he constructed his face or the way he did things that made you appear that he was you thought for a second you were seeing someone who was on
Right.
the spectrum,
And
and then he came off stage and he's like, hey everyone, you're like,
right.
whoa.
And you really don't get that experience when you watch a film, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because like there are a bunch of actors and stuff that clearly are not from here, but you would never know it because they use that same accent. Like
Tom Holland,
Tom
That's
Holland.
well,
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
He is not
American.
yeah, a United States citizen. He's from the UK and stuff. And hearing interviews and stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
that's
you're
not
almost more
you.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So back to like the remakes.
Well,
I
no,
don't-
that's kind of in the still the vein of it because it's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
We're talking movies.
Yeah.
we're talking theater
Yeah.
So
remakes.
when they do, I don't mind when they do remakes because I like to see all the different stuff. But
Bring
I
the mic a
don't,
little closer.
I don't like when they change like a main thing. It's just
Okay.
like from book to movie when you change
So
certain things. Like
Mhm.
a character is blonde, thin, blah blah blah, and then you completely change because I feel like
Mm.
that's not how they're described. Or
Right.
like this person's like a giant, like massive, and then you make somebody small. It's like it's not
So
gonna
like
fit.
for you, 50 Shades of Grey,
Yes, so
because
that
in
was
your
one.
head, what you thought of that character, and then
the
what?
way that they described the girl throughout the entire books was like a normal person, not like she wasn't heavy, but she struggled with her weight a little. That was like a big like trigger for her. Like she was always like, oh, I don't want to eat a lot, blah, blah, blah. But then in the movies, she was super skinny and that wasn't even like a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't, you take away a part if it's something that's like a big issue
sure.
and then they just kind of change it all up. Like, I don't mind changing other stuff or open. But when it's something like when they note on it a lot,
Yeah.
or if it's like a big deal and they
Yeah.
change.
So
Mhm.
I guess that kind of brings up partially into the next part of my question. Should new levels of detail be created in a remake? And I'm going to use Halloween's remake as the example, right? You look at his family lifestyle in the original versus the remake. You don't really get to see much of it in the original. But in the remake, his mom's a stripper. You know, his stepdad's super abusive.
Are we
Oh,
talking?
and Rob Zombie.
we're
Yeah,
talking
the Rob
Rob
Yeah.
well, that's the only remake that there is.
Can I propose a different horror movie to the
You
same
You can propose whatever you want. That was just the
I will
first one that
say
comes to mind. Where
this is one where people are going to be like, how the hell do you like this more than
People hate Rob Zombie movies.
No, I'm not even going to use Rob Zombie. I'm going to go even more controversial because people fucking hate this movie.
Okay.
The reboot or remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah.
I don't hate it. I rewatched it.
A lot of people don't like it.
A lot of people
I just saw that
fucking
was another one. I
hate
just saw
that
people
remake,
talking
and
about it.
I liked it
I liked it.
So originally, I hated it.
because
Rewatching it,
everyone's so attached to Robert Englund.
Yeah.
sure,
And I get that. He's a fucking genius. He's so good.
right?
Me saying I like the remake does not mean that I don't think Robert Englund's fucking amazing.
Right.
I would kiss Robert Englund on the mouth if he wanted me to.
I don't think they would want that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I respect that man as an
Yeah.
actor. He is Freddy Krueger.
I-
But I thought the remake, how you're saying,
In its own right, was
Yeah.
because what it did for me, that the Freddy Krueger. So Freddy Krueger scared me in
Mhm.
part 1. Right? So I watched Freddy Krueger 1. I'm like, this guy is fucking terrifying. And then I seen part 2 and I'm like, still kind of scary, but I'm loosening up to him. Then part 3 and onward, I'm rooting for Freddy Krueger. I
love
am no longer
Yeah.
afraid of Freddy Krueger. He's an anti-hero at that point where you're like, kill those fucking kids. And then you go back and watch the first one and he's no longer scary. And then you're like, oh, he has he's flapping arms. You know what I mean? Like he's fucking sticking his phone to the tongue. Like
that was the first movie.
yeah, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying the first time you see that, you're scared, and then you watch his progression, and then you go back to part 1, you're like,
Yeah.
he's always been funny.
Yeah,
Where this remake made him, and then the
Scary.
whole joke was
sure.
everyone's like, oh, well, he was a child.
That's what I just saw in the
He
thing.
was a
People
child-
didn't like that.
He was a child killer, but everyone alluded that
Yeah.
he did more than just kill kids,
Yeah,
and
We
everyone
know that's
put
what
that
happened.
persona on his character that was never there in the original Nightmare on Elm Streets.
I
But
don't
it
know about
was.
that. I'm pretty.
He never ever
never
once
said it.
it was always fanned.
yeah?
It was always done by the kids.
That's
that-
not true at all.
that he I don't want to say the actual word because you can get banned for the internet
Uh-huh.
from saying it.
Uh.
But in the reboot, they said, "Oh, he is 100% this
Yeah.
character."
I'm gonna change that slightly. Freddy vs. Jason opens your eyes to that in his opening speech. He goes a little bit more in
Oh
depth
yeah.
about things
Yeah.
that he does.
Oh yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of stuff. So because it's Robert,
But the
it's
first,
still
Yeah,
one,
but they
don't.
made it very clear that he was a child
Sure.
murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I know Robert did do that later on because the fans
Yeah.
were like, that's like that
And I
everyone
think
just
time had
assumed.
passed
Yeah,
that it was like
the-
okay to just because there was like a whole thing. I think why they didn't say that.
Yeah, like you were not at any point in time rooting for Freddy in that remake. You're like, this guy is fucking disgusting. Because actually, at one point, you were actually sympathizing, like, holy shit, they killed an innocent man.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck yeah,
There were
get him, Freddy.
5.
And then halfway through, you're like, oh no, he's a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Like I thought the remake was done very well.
I liked
Yeah.
it a lot.
And the makeup, I thought they didn't try to make him look like the old Freddy, and they went and did a lot of research on what an actual burn victim would look like, and they went and used that. I'm into the remake.
They did a good job on the makeup. I'm not a huge fan of the direction that they went with it. I understand
And he's
why.
short, and he's short.
I always
He's
so
shorter.
I always picture Freddy as a short.
Also, Quentin was in Scream 5
What?
from the new.
Yeah, from the
the
new-
new
Oh,
Nightmare.
okay. I was like,
I told you that
Who's
when I
Quentin?
watched it. He played Vince.
but yeah, I always pictured Freddy as a shorter character. Like if any
Yeah, he's not
horror
like
character
Jason or
I
Michael Way
pictured
small.
that I could play, I feel like I could get away
Yeah.
with Freddy
Absolutely.
or
Sure, he's smaller,
Ghostface
too.
because they're not massive.
Yeah.
And the thing with the remake too is I'm not trying to like, if you did a criminal profile on someone who would attack children,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's all short people, but like he would,
They're like normal, average people.
yeah, like he would fit that bill of a kid
Yeah.
because he's not a towering adult.
Right.
He can
like an
sympathize
average
and
person.
be where if like a guy's like 6'7", a kid's like, what the fuck are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where if he's more like a shorter statured person,
Right.
and then he's still strong because he's a supernatural element, where he
Right.
was still like throwing people around, and he's not human at that point in time.
Right.
He's an entity. So
Yeah. And I also feel like when it comes to like Freddy versus Jason and stuff, having him on the shorter side really grows that.
but Robert
aspect
Englund, I
of-
feel, is
Yeah.
still tall.
No, he is so tall, which is why
He's got to be 6 foot, right?
Yeah, he's definitely like 6
Oh.
foot. But that's what I mean. Like, but watching him, I don't see him as, even though I know he's tall.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a tall character, or that it has to be a tall
Yeah.
character. Where like Michael or Jason, you
They're
kind of need them to be,
Yeah.
This
Mm.
towering.
So I want to go
powerhouse.
back to what you were
We
saying
actually talked
about-
real quick. We actually talked about this on Bangin' Beers with Michael Myers, where Michael Myers wasn't always supposed to be a very tall, menacing person, but as Jason got more popular,
They made
they
him bigger.
changed him in the later movies to be a taller person
Interesting.
to coincide with Jason later,
I didn't
like
know
to be that
Mm.
Jason monster as Frankenstein almost.
Huh.
Yeah. Robert
Um,
Englund's 5'10". I'm taller than Robert Englund.
I mean, he's still tall. I mean, compared to me, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Going back to what you were saying about the Rob Zombie movies.
yeah.
So
And
I
the guy
don't-
who did the remake was 5'5".
I don't mind.
Fantastic.
I don't mind. So I didn't like the last one with the whole like witchy whatever. That was weird. But the backstory, okay. Everyone hates that they turned him like the white trash, blah blah blah.
Right.
But I didn't hate it because there wasn't really a backstory to
Mhm.
begin with.
That's what I mean. like-
Whereas the new Texas Chainsaw, he has a story. He has a
Right.
family. He was raised with his family who kill people and eat them, whatever. And then they changed it and he was an orphan. That doesn't make sense to me.
yeah.
But this one where there's no story and then they just make something up,
Mm.
I'm okay with that.
So like this was one that I just kind of thought of while we were talking about like these random horror characters and stuff. In the remake of Friday the 13th, they show us that he gets around so fast because there's tunnels
Mhm.
underneath
Yes.
the campground. I personally love
I thought that was
that
cool.
look into things, and I don't know, maybe people hate that because it's
Yeah.
like you're taking away the magic.
And he had traps and stuff set.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't know. It was like that. But maybe that for someone is like the Ghostface thing for me, where he clicks the button. Like I don't need to see
Yeah.
that. Like I know he has it.
I liked that. I liked that one actually. And I thought it was cool because
Well, in the remake,
It's
was
weird that
is he an undead creature? Is he a
I
dude?
think
not- he's
so.
just a-
I think he's
well,
just there.
he's just there.
That he's been
Or
living.
like he
Yeah,
never
yeah.
drowned in the lake,
I think that's still the truth.
so he's still
it.
a zombie essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
No
pretty
one
sure
really
that's
knows.
still the
It's weird.
truth.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying, zombies. Not every zombie has to eat brains. I'm just
Right.
saying he's an undead.
But he
character.
obviously
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
That's the original story. But
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure they do say that though, that he died.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's part of their like horror story.
Yeah, because they
around the
tell
campfire
the
thing.
story. Yeah.
Or did he say he died and his mom hid him away so the kids couldn't pick him anymore, and they just use the story of he's dead so she can hide him away from the world?
Right.
They don't really say.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They
All right,
think
what's
he
your
died.
next topic point?
So I'm on my last one. When it comes to remakes, should cameos be included of original cast members, or are they not needed?
I think if you want your fan service, and I think
Yeah.
if you want your fan base to get into your reboot or sequel that's going to base himself off that franchise,
Yeah.
I think it definitely helps.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp too, where like I appreciate them being like, at least maybe because I also do acting, and I'm like, if I was in a big franchise and then they rebooted it, I would love to be asked to come back and like just
You
appear.
need that passing of the torch
Yeah.
for the fans.
Mhm.
If that new spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the new Ghostbusters, if that new Ghostbusters movie is exactly what that movie was without the original cast at
Yeah.
some point showing up, it doesn't have the same effect.
Right.
Right.
And the
And-
movie's not as good.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up though too, because like we got to meet the guy who played Podcast at Monster Mania a couple weeks ago, and I made sure to tell him, I'm like, I hope you guys, after resurging because it wasn't the original cast that resurged this franchise, in my opinion.
We are all on board of either saying, cool, we're going to get a completely new Ghostbusters now,
Mm.
or we're going to get these characters as the new generation of Ghostbusters. And we're okay with it because on screen, the torch has been passed.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like they
And-
did it so well.
And I said that to him. I was like, I hope you guys don't get thrown away
Yeah.
because you guys made the movie to me. Like, yeah, it was nice that they were back in it, like the original cast and stuff, but they did the real work. The
Yeah.
original Ghostbusters kind of just showed up
Yeah.
and they're like, all right. because it's like when you do a production and it's like you got these big famous people and they kind of just show up, like they don't put any actual work in or anything. They're just like, well, I'm a name, so I don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
These are
Even
up and
Paul
coming.
Rudd felt like he worked for his role. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't just like, hey, I'm Paul Rudd, I got a scene. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like he was like you felt
I
vested.
think it does.
Yeah.
I feel like it is better when they have like the original people because it does
Sure.
make you want. You're like, okay, I love this now.
Yeah.
Like where before you're just like, all right, it's a ghoul, like it's a remake.
I don't think we'll get another version of it, but when Ed Helms did the
Vacation?
next Vacation,
Yeah.
and he's Rusty, and you're like, if now they go on the whole movie and say I'm Rusty, cool, he's Rusty, but the fact that he goes home and he sees and you see Chevy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's like, all right, cool, that's a nice nod,
Right.
you know, and I think it gives the movie a little more brownie points.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of a version where they kind of did that and brought the original person in. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Fucking Tim Curry was the narrator. Still didn't mean
Okay.
anything. People still hated it,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think of a movie where they did a cameo and people hated it. Still, they're like, this is fucking terrible. Even
I
with
mean,
the cameo.
the cameo doesn't necessarily have to make or break the film.
I think it helps.
I think it helps.
I look at it as a sense of like, as the fan thing, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily like, does it change the world of the story for you or any of that kind of stuff? It's just, would you prefer cameos of these actors or just be like, they're not really needed?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I think
they're
if done
good.
right, it helps.
Yeah,
especially
like-
if it's like a long.
Sure.
Period.
Like, I guess looking
Yeah.
at like Stan Lee's cameos, right? He made
Mm.
no difference in the story whatsoever, but he's in all of them.
But I feel like
Oh,
I feel like those are like Mickey Mouse. Like
Yeah.
you're like,
Where
where is he? Like,
almost to that level. Not
Yeah.
like the cameo people are new characters where they make a giant impact.
yeah.
It's just they're kind of there and they're Easter eggs, and that's kind of it.
Lou
Ooh,
so-
I
so
love
like in the
Easter
Lou
eggs.
movie.
Ferrigno in the Incredible Hulk movie.
He was in it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he
Yeah,
plays like
was.
he's like a guy like a
He's the
barista counter
security-
or security guard.
And I
Oh,
think
that's
Stan
funny.
Lee's the other security guard walking with him.
Yeah,
That's really
and then
funny.
Edward Norton's like him and Edward Norton have an exchange on screen, and then he goes, that guy, and he goes, and I think Stan Lee says like incredible or something like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
But that's all I have for my questions.
Well, with the thing that you said about the Easter egg thing, they kind of did that with a Goofy movie where
Oh, yeah?
when they're doing the concert for Powerline, you notice in the crowd Mickey Mouse
Oh,
is there for
yeah.
a split second.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really make or break the film.
Mickey, Donald, and somebody else are in the crowd in The Little Mermaid too.
Yeah, I saw that.
When
too.
they're all at the meeting in Atlantis, in the crowd you see Mickey and
Oh.
Donald.
I've never noticed this.
And is it Pluto?
It
Not
might be-
Pluto.
it's
Are
some-
they
there's
like
three of them.
fish?
No, they're
just
just
standing
there.
there.
Yeah.
Weird.
I love Easter eggs. I love trying to find all
You
the
never
stuff.
seen that?
No.
Or like in the new movies, like when
Oh,
they
it's
do
Mickey,
certain
Donald, and
things.
Goofy.
Interesting.
So when he's
Oh, Goofy. Yeah, it is Goofy.
they're in
Okay,
the-
but you don't see them clear enough that you don't see
But
that
they're
they have
there.
tails.
Mhm.
yeah,
I guess is what I'm saying.
but they're there. They're in
Yeah.
the crowd underwater.
I love that kind of stuff. Like in the new Scream, there was some. I was talking to Rich about it because I rewatched it with him. Like there's,
I like
I
it.
think they do like there's like Elm Street somewhere.
Which
Yeah.
Someone
it
lives on
was going to
Elm
be great
Street,
on
I
the
can't
Disney
remember.
podcast, pulling those Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like watching the movie and then going and do this research. Sorry, I
it's
sorry
fun.
to cut you off. You were talking to Rish.
Yeah, we were talking about like all this because I was rewatching the movie with you, and I was like, oh, I didn't notice this the first time, like all this stuff. And then I like seeing like I don't know, especially horror stuff. I feel like I notice a lot, and then you wonder like, oh, did they do that on purpose? Like somebody's last name is Carpenter, and I was like, did they do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Like because there's also like Elm Street somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like they always, I feel like horror movies always do that because they did that in Halloween.
Yeah.
They like take nods.
One thing
Like,
I
nods to
definitely
each
want
other.
to do with these spin-off shows, and even going forward on this podcast, is I know it's tough. I know we all have really busy schedules, including myself. But I think it would make the podcast more fun and more like, so say if you have a guest on, like, hey, we're gonna do a horror movie or Disney movie or Star Wars, like even with me and Andy in the Star Wars, I really think it makes it more magical if we sit and watch the movie together.
Yeah.
Here's where this could be a burden too. We're gonna talk during the movie and we're gonna miss stuff that we're not gonna say again on the podcast. So we have to control and be like, nope, you just have a notepad and be like, saving that.
I'm not good at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not.
Or watch it again,
Yeah.
before the episode where
Yeah.
it's like you can take your own time and that kind of stuff, really like pick stuff out and
yeah.
this and that.
Yeah.
Because like for the Disney one, I want to almost like quiz people on certain things.
Ooh, that's
like
fun.
within it. And like, so the idea is, at least for this first episode kind of thing, like me and Anthony will watch the movie and we'll go off and we'll like mark down 5 questions that we have, and we're gonna like see who gets like the better score by the end of like all the movies or
And
whatever.
I think
That's
the cool
fun.
thing
That's
with
a good
this
idea.
horror
Yeah.
podcast, and I know we sucked this week on promoting this episode, like we
Ooh,
didn't put anything out.
I thought
promoting,
about that today. I was like,
and we
ooh,
gotta definitely
I've
fix
been
that.
super busy.
And I know it's gonna be harder with the more shows, but we still gotta not forget this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But especially if you're doing the Disney in chronological order, and we're doing Star Wars, and you kind of give that blueprint to your audience to be like, here's what we're starting with, watch it, and then come hang out with us this day. You know what I mean? I think that's fun too. And even if you're not live, you can still, while it's airing live, be in the chat talking. And
I honestly, I think that would be more fun to do that, at least for this, you know, so that way
It might
I
be
can
easier for you to
engage.
interact with people that
Yeah,
way.
that's what I mean.
Because it's
Like,
hard to like.
where like this, we click the thing and it pops up and stuff. But I would rather just sit and watch while they're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
essentially.
Now listen, I'm cool with you not being live if that's not the way. If you want the way you want to do it,
I mean,
cool with it.
Kind of.
I don't know enough about live for me to do that. Like I've spent so many years putting short films and that kind of stuff together, like for the schools and stuff that I work with and this and that it just makes more sense to kind of go not live.
Yeah.
and
The
kinda
only reason
push
I do the
bigger.
live thing is because I think that the world of live streaming is very popular right now.
Sure.
And there's not many podcasts that are doing the live while you're doing podcasts and keep quality good.
Sure.
I mean, listen, I know there's tons of podcasts that go live at the same time.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're a little different because we interact with our people and stuff.
No, that's
and our,
perfectly
and our
fine.
Love our
audience.
people. Are
but-
they saying anything good over there?
Yeah, some people are saying they like cameos, and Dana's saying I think fans expected if they're not any cameos, it wouldn't make much sense or be as good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's gonna do our sequels.
Do we want to talk about
What are
anything
some of
quick?
your favorite sequels and
Oh.
remakes?
I don't know. You put me on the spot just now. So I like Jeepers Creepers 2.
Okay.
It was really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was really excited to see that. I'm gonna throw it out there and say that a prequel to Jeepers Creepers would be fantastic. Because in the first one they talk about how all these bodies are stitched down in the basement of the church, and some of them are like have wooden teeth and stuff. I would love to see them take that and show us the creeper in the world where we don't have grenades, machine guns, and all that garbage. I want to see monsters, like almost like a Van Helsing movie type level of time frame, and see that monster kind of like, and how the people survive.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. But Jeepers Creepers 2 definitely, like, I could watch over and over and never, get kind of sick of that. I really love Scream 2. I know that's not one that a lot of people like, but I mean, they throw theater into it, and she goes off to college, and they do this big Greek play, and you get to see like all the theater aspects, and I just really enjoyed those kind of things. And maybe that's just because I'm a theater person.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I know. But that's what we're here for, right?
What about reboots?
Reboots. I don't know. Let's go around and do sequels, and then we'll go
All
around
right.
to
So for
reboots.
me, sequel.
Yeah, because I need time to think.
I hate being on the
Um,
spot like this.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
we were
know.
doing
I've
this
been
part.
thinking about it too, but I also was thinking of like.
Yeah.
There it is.
There we are.
Sorry,
We're
guys.
back.
Sorry. Sequels. Yeah, I would say the Ghostbusters because it totes the line between a sequel and a reboot. I like that a lot.
It was a great movie.
Sequel. What's a sequel I really, really like? I'm stuck now.
Yeah. I really like the new Scream. Actually, I like
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh, Ghostbusters 2. I should stop talking Ghostbusters.
The new Ghostbusters was really good though.
I really liked Halloween Kills.
Yes,
Mhm.
Halloween Kills was really good.
First time seeing it, I wasn't a fan.
Okay.
Only because I was so emotionally attached to Michael Myers, and then going back.
Which one of you didn't like it?
Me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember when we were in the theater, somebody was like,
I hated the 2018 one.
That's right.
See,
It
I
was
didn't mind
you.
that.
It was you.
I didn't
Yeah.
mind the 2018 one.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills, I had a hard time with.
I don't know. A lot of people were like, he's John Wick now. I'm like, I love John Wick. So making Michael Myers John Wick was amazing.
Yeah. I think I had to rewire my brain to be like, no, this is someone else's interpretation of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's why I don't have such like I'm just kind of like open to whatever, and I think that's why it doesn't bother me as much when
Right.
they do remakes or sequels or whatever. Like other people get like crazy, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I take it as like a new movie, and I just see. But unless it's a sequel, obviously you have to have the same connection. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like everything. There's not much I don't like.
Back to the Future too. It's a good sequel.
Oh,
Okay.
number
Yeah,
3 is
you-
fantastic.
Yeah, number 3 is fantastic. Let's see, sequels.
I stalled as long as I possibly can, so you guys.
Let's see. So I know people were probably like, how do you like this one? Like I love Revenge of the Sith as a movie. I don't care if people hate the prequels or not.
It is
I have a hard time with the
fantastic.
prequels.
You didn't watch
but-
them.
I've seen
thought it
I've
was
seen the
good
original.
storytelling with
I've
the
seen
third one.
all of the
That's cool.
original, like the first. I've seen the prequels, the original 3, and I've seen all but not the newest
I like
of the 3.
prequels if it's done right.
Okay.
Like I like because it's cool to see like, oh, this could have been what happened before.
I thought I just
Leads
was
up
so
to it.
impressed with the special effects
I
in the
don't
original
remember
3
that one if
over
I
the
even saw it or
modern
not.
day special effects. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I guess I just, and I think I don't know. I was more attached to Luke than I was Anakin.
Okay.
Is anybody watching anything new right now? Or into anything?
What's your favorite sequels first?
I don't know. I said I like all screams.
All right, well, let's get our snacks and stuff out, and then we'll wrap this up.
I think
So
I found the remake,
what
The Thing.
thing?
Yeah, I love The Thing.
You
Yeah,
know
The
what?
Thing
You know
was a great
what's
movie.
you know
And
what's
The
a good
Mummy.
you know what's a good remake?
Mummy.
Yeah, that's true.
Fantastic.
Oh, The
Technically, it
Invisible
is.
Man was good.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
good.
You know what's another good remake? It's almost a shot for shot remake too.
Hills Have Eyes.
Psycho.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah,
With
that was
Vince
really
Vaughn.
good. That was really good.
All right, so we have snacks that we're gonna do real quick. We haven't done this in a long time on the show, but these are the Stay Puff S'mores marshmallow treats.
So they added an extra bit of detail to that, and I didn't notice until the other day. Who makes that in the top corner?
Gozer's
Mhm.
Goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they added that lovely little Easter egg.
So it is just a marshmallow triangle, and it has the s'mores ingredients on top. We're gonna try these, and then we have 2 drinks to try. We have the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time G Fuel. It's Wampa Fruit energy drink. So this is the first one, and the second one is going to be
soft.
Sonic the Hedgehog G Fuel, and this is a peach rings.
That's cute.
I fucking love that. So here we go, peach rings. So we're gonna crack these open and try them, almost banging beer style here.
Oh, they smell funny.
We're gonna go peach rings first.
So the
Smell it?
marshmallows,
Nobody smelled
in
it.
case anybody's interested, did come from FYE. They were on
I believe
clearance.
both the sodas came
So,
in there too. Pour that.
No, the sodas came. We got those at Cheats.
Monster Mania. Oh,
Yeah, we
Okay.
got those at Cheats. So
This is what the mute switch is. You guys are all quiet now. I'm
Okay.
trying not to. Son of a bitch.
you just did it. You did it. The Hills Have Eyes is like a shot for shot almost remake.
These are good. The marshmallow is good.
yeah, I like them.
The marshmallow smells funny.
I wish I had a little more chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a huge marshmallow by itself fan.
I love s'mores. So
I think it leaves a
More
little
chocolate.
more graham cracker too.
Yeah.
But it's not bad at all. I like it.
It's
so
interesting.
each pack was on clearance for $1.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you still made the noise.
All right.
The mute button doesn't work.
This is the Sonic peach ring.
Tastes like a peach ring.
It smells like a peach ring. That's delicious. That sucks. This is a gimmick drink because I would drink this all day long. No, our G Fuel's
Well-
like completely horrible for you too.
I don't know, but
Says
maybe
0 sugar, so I don't.
maybe G Fuel has a peach ring all the time. They just made a can for Sonic.
I didn't even know G Fuel was a thing. to be
I didn't
honest with
either. I looked down
you. 0 calories.
and I think we saw Sonic.
Total fat, 65 milligrams. I don't know what any of this means, so I'm not going to sit there and pretend I'm smart. 65 grams of milligrams of sodium, 0 total sugars, 0 sugar added, potassium,
It was aspartame
vitamin C, vitamin B,
or something.
and there's chaos in this.
Chaos. Let me see.
Chaos gems.
Chaos gems.
No, I just made that.
Like
up.
Oh.
Chaos Emeralds.
Emerald. Sorry, not gems.
The stones.
The stones. The stones. Dude, I'm pumped for the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
That was
It looks great.
I went and watched the first one.
When you said that, you're like, I watched the new Sonic. I'm like, it's not out yet. How did you watch that?
You know
Yeah.
what? Speaking of that movie, that was the last movie before like everything got shut down. I got to see in theaters. And
I watched it on
I had
his
fun.
Voodoo account playing Xbox.
Oh, so funny.
And I was
enough,
like, this is so fucking good. She actually fell
I keep
asleep.
falling asleep. I tried to watch it twice and fell
it's
asleep.
And
so
she's obsessed
good.
with Sonic.
it came out on Voodoo, right, for the opening weekend, and there was a glitch. So I got it for $9.
There's green coffee bean extract in this,
Oh, you're gonna hate it.
I don't
I
think
mean, you love
Scott,
it.
I don't
and
think
green
Scott-
tea extract.
Oh,
And sucralose.
I mean, it's good.
What's sucralose?
I've never had G
sugar,
Fuel
right?
before, so
Sucralose is a sugar.
what is it?
A sugar.
If it rhymes with
thing, right?
gross, it's sugar. That's what Nickelodeon used to tell me. They get this whole list of things.
Sucralose.
I think it was Nickelodeon anyway. They're like, if it rhymes with gross, it's sugar.
All right, while I pour this next
it's
G Fuel,
sucralose. It's
what do you got to plug?
It's all right. I don't love it.
Disney, we're coming at you soon.
We're coming at you.
We
Hi.
I'm
don't.
excited that you're doing it from like the beginning on.
Yeah.
That's really
It's,
exciting.
it's definitely really exciting.
It's gonna take you forever.
Yeah, but that's good because we'll be here forever, so it's fine.
So are we gonna try to shoot like
Forever.
we'll each shoot something a week and sit on it, or do we like so this
We
comes
could.
out every other Tuesday. So I kind of want to leave Monday and Tuesdays alone.
Sure.
We can air them Wednesdays. So but I don't like to record on Wednesdays because
Yeah.
I like to watch wrestling on Wednesdays. So I know for me with the other ones, we might shoot for Fridays with me and Andy and me
Sure.
and Heidi. Friday for the horror and stuff. If you guys want to take Disney on Wednesdays, that'd be great.
So what we might do is,
Crash Bandicoot.
I don't know if we're gonna say numbers in ours. Like we can for the headers and stuff.
Yeah.
But we may just make them. Like if we have 2 days open during the week because our schedule is a little bit more free.
Yeah.
We may shoot 2 episodes and then we can sit on them and
Yeah.
however order
Oh, okay.
we want to do them. But Wednesday or whatever is fine.
The
Like,
only
every
thing is,
day.
I know that means nothing to the people listening or watching, but I'm just gonna say because it's on my mind. Keep your bit rate low, your quality high, but bit rate low. Because some reason the bit rates have to stay lower when I put them on StreamYard.
Okay. Well,
So
we'll
when I do
talk
my
about that.
videos and you re-render it, you keep matching quality, but keep bit rate low.
Oh.
Yeah.
So match source, but
Yes.
bit rate low.
Yeah.
Got it. Because I always keep it high.
Yeah, I did too, and I had to redo a video 5 times. I'm like, I'll do medium. Nope. And then I went low, and it took the video.
So
and
what
it's
does low do?
I guess it just keeps it so if there's any buffering or anything, it keeps. I don't know what it means, but it works. Like I can still do a 4K or 1080p
Oh,
video,
okay.
but the bit rate has to be low for StreamYard to take it,
Interesting.
and it has to be like it can't really be over 2 hours too. So you have to keep them if it's an uploaded video.
So for the Disney thing, we're gonna stick to like a half-hour mark because there's just 2 of us. We're not necessarily gonna and there's gonna be editing involved.
Yeah,
We're gonna cut air out and all that kind of stuff. So it's not necessarily gonna. It's
That's
not gonna be
fine.
scripted, but it's
just remember on the podcast side, usually like 30 minutes is like a throwaway episode for some people. So try to at least kick it to 45 minutes.
I mean, that's fine. It's not gonna. I guess what I'm saying is it's not gonna be
It's not
like
gonna
a
be like 2
2-hour
hours. Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
because we're not competing with 4 to 6 people. It's,
Right.
For the most part, gonna be the 2 of us. I mean, unless we have random guests. So
I don't know if it's the peach mixing with this,
it might be.
but this is fucking good. I think I like this more than the peach.
I would say I like this one.
Yeah,
better
I
than the
think
peach.
so.
I'm not a really big peach fan in
Mm.
general.
Yeah, but it depends.
That's really good. I think Crash beats Sonic in this one, even though I think game wise, fucking Crash can suck a D.
I wonder if they
Okay,
made-
I hate. Were they
I think
I
always
made
that
it
hard,
further
or
in
did they
Crash.
just do that on purpose of the new ones?
For the remakes
Yes.
of Crash, I believe they made them harder.
I think I did better in Crash than I did.
Oh, try to play the remakes.
You know what? I platinum every single game on that to be like, I want to do this. I want to
You platinumed every Crash.
for the remakes. Yeah,
You're a psychopath,
Yeah,
the first one had the
you should
bonus
have heard him
level.
cursing.
Oh, it's terrible.
dude. Me and
No,
me and Steve Fault
that's
would
Cuphead I was
drink and
cursing
play
with.
that, and I was just like, "Fuck this game."
So I don't love the drinks
Who cares?
because
don't
just
care.
because I can taste the sucralose. I don't like it.
Anyway, I did order stickers too. I ordered a 250 of the Rugrat, and I ordered 150 of the Rocco.
I wonder. Speaking of the drinks and stuff, if they did any other game ones,
I don't know.
like I would like
yeah.
to try a Spyro version. I don't know what it would be, but I would like it.
Anthony, what do you got to plug?
We
my
never
YouTube
talked about
channel.
what we're into, guys.
I have a new video coming out. It's scheduled for 9:00 tonight, which I don't know what time is it now.
It's-
9:53.
9:53, so it's out.
Oh, okay, so it should be out by now. It's a new Power Ranger video. I am actually talking on this one because I've been trying to talk more in my videos to get reach out to my audience. So I
Yeah.
thought I'd do better
Nice.
with that.
Awesome.
Heidi.
Truth Behind Illusion, because I have my shirt on today.
There you go. Oh, and if you're
Tuesday.
with the merchandise, just from our personal experience, I mean, it's still on TeePublic if you want to use it. But I will say this: I know they have a guarantee on their website, but who wants to fucking mail shit in and fucking go through this whole rigmarole where it's like, oh, why don't we have plenty of shirts that we got from TeePublic that we washed it and it just didn't like they're faded, they're chipping, they're falling off already.
Which ones we got from where?
They're all public. The
Okay,
TeePublic
ones
ones,
that
yeah.
are-
If you have TeePublic ones and it happened, we're doing third party because it's the only way we can make merchandise or make
Yeah.
a buck off this podcast. So we do apologize. If it's really bad, you can reach out to them and they will fix it and give you your money back or give you another shirt. But we don't even advertise the Redbubble or the TeePublic anymore, even on our site. If you want like a hat, you can get it from Redbubble and all that other stuff.
So I was gonna say, because for the companion entertainment stuff, I was using TeePublic for
Yeah.
certain things. Like I got a laptop case and that kind of stuff. It just seems like the shirt is where the issue lies, at least
Yeah.
for my end.
I mean, like I said, the TeePublic has pins
Yeah.
and stickers that you can get, and they're smaller stickers.
Yeah.
Because if you would a sticker from Teespring, it's a much larger sticker,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of cool. But if you're looking to like have multiple, they're big. But we just kind of do the TeePublic. We get more off of Teespring, and we charge less than what if you want to do a t-shirt normally from TeePublic, it's like $25 or $23. All of our shirts on Teespring are $20, and if we sell a t-shirt on Teespring, we get like $1 off it. But if we sell it off TeePublic or Teespring, we get like $4 off it, and it's cheaper. So that we just go with the Teespring
And better quality.
and it's better quality, yeah. And then we do premium shirts and comfort shirts, so you can even get the higher quality shirt premium.
Yeah.
And it's still a $20 shirt over the other one. We lose a little bit on it, but you're still getting the higher quality. And the other ones sometimes don't go to larger sizes, so we took that into consideration, as well as certain colors aren't available if you go higher quality shirts.
Well, there is a place in Tamaqua that I would like to reach out to that does like t-shirts and all that.
Yeah, the only
that's
problem is I
cool.
don't have the funds to buy.
We may not have to necessarily in a grand scale.
Yeah.
Like I would more so want to go to them and find out the quality level, because if their quality level is better and we could do like a made to order thing, that would
that'd
be
cool.
fine. Like, because we have the studio space, like people can come pick up their stuff in the lobby. And that kind of thing that's available now where we didn't really have that before. So I want to play around with some of those thoughts and ideas.
Yeah. We didn't get into what we're into. I apologize. We will. Is there something really big you want to tell somebody like that you're just dying to say?
No, I just actually watched something new finally, and I thought I want to talk about it.
We're getting
It's
close to
okay.
2 hour mark, so I want to cut it here.
Okay, let's cut it.
So thank you guys so much, the IWEP network. We promise the Not Cool in High Schools we will dial this into more of an hour and a half, hour 45.
Yeah,
We had a lot of news. We want to talk about the new shows, so we're really excited.
we
And
rambled a little.
Remakes versus sequels is a big
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we
It's open-ended.
took almost 45 minutes to do the news and
Yeah.
the newer stuff. We will dial this in. It won't be as long
But-
unless you guys like longer episodes.
also too. The last episode we had Ben here, so we didn't get to really do our normal.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben said he
type
would have done a
stuff.
4-hour podcast with
No,
us.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we
and
didn't talk about
speaking
anything else.
of Ben, you know how he was like, "I'm going to write down and find out about your Christmas card."
Yeah.
There is an update on it. He messaged me and was like, "Did you ever live in Denver?" And I said,
What?
"No, never lived in Denver." I have the Christmas card. I got it like 2 days after the podcast.
So
What a nice
somebody
guy.
in Denver got your card.
Yeah, somebody in Denver. So
That's
if
funny.
you are watching and you have my card, you're welcome. Yeah.
You're
But I
fucking
did get
dead.
my card. He did hold up
Yeah.
his thing, so I very much
We
appreciate
love
Ben
fright
doing
rags.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wearing fright rags. I'm wearing
Yeah.
fright rags. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing Halloween Horror Nights tonight.
That's
I was
cool.
wondering what you had. So you have a
That's
amalgamation,
cool.
a bunch of stuff going
Yeah,
on there.
that was all their houses. For the
Oh,
1
cool.
year.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, Not Cool in High School Disney, Not Cool in High School Horror, Not Cool in High School Star Wars, all coming very, very soon.
Coming at ya.
Merchandise will be available, let's say,
Eventually.
before the next Not Cool in High School airs, because I have to go and do a lot of uploading and stuff. I
Yeah.
think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna treat these logos like the like the Bang and Beers ones, where it's just like a t-shirt, a hoodie, just very like
base.
the main logos will have everything. Like if you want a crop top, or you like if there's an item you really want that the other ones have available,
Yeah.
and you want, we'll add it if you want it.
Sure.
But it's going to be very limited to what we put the logo on,
Just 'cause it's a
because
lot
we're
of
going to
work.
get tapestries. I'll get tapestry, so each show will change the tapestry,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But we're super excited for these shows. We're super excited that you guys are excited for them.
Yeah.
And we'll once again, says great show, guys. Thank you for hanging out,
Thank
man.
you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and for talking.
Once again, if you guys can head over to an audio platform where we do this, Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, you can go on our Facebook and do it, or our website. Leave a review. Those really help the word of mouth get out there. If you really like this show, please tell your friends. Let's get this growing. Share this on social media. That helps us a lot too. We're gonna wrap up here, but as we're gone, you can follow Lee's footsteps here, and you can leave us a little Everett.
You keep calling him Lee.
You know what? Billy's dad is Lee Everett, and if this is Everett Lee, that's what's fucking with me. But Everett has a really good podcast too. Everett, put your link to your podcast in so people can see it. And what you can do is you guys can leave us love, and while the outro music is playing, we will put your chats up so you can see all the people can see your kind words. Or if you hate us, you can put those up too. That'll do it for Not Cool in High School, episode 106.
106.
Yeah.
I almost said 160. 106.
Oh.
Dyslexia kicking in. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.